We're at Caterham Cars in Gatwick at their head office, and I'm surrounded by the most incredible collection of Caterhams I've ever seen in my life. The most incredible colours and combinations I think that exist on the planet. And talking of colours, this one, the top of the range 620S, bright purple with all this carbon, exposed carbon here. But the reason we're here is because we're talking about the Caterham Academy, and this is a typical Caterham Academy car. The Caterham Academy is in its 26th year, and every year Caterham run a ballot like a lotto where the employees can put their name down to enter. This year was won by Mark, so he's going to be competing in this car, but you know what? I'm not worried about that or him. This is what we're here for, to reveal the Lovecars Caterham Academy car. And to join me, I've got Simon Lambert of Caterham Cars to do the big reveal.
Morning, Paul. You excited?
I'm very excited, actually.
Me too,
We're going to go straight for it, are we?
Oh, why not? Yeah.
Okay, here we go, here we go.
Gently.
Well, I've seen it in the renders, but not in real life.
Well,
Oh, it looks fantastic.
That looks fantastic.
Wow, look at that. Our own race car, the Lovecars race car.
I think the guy's done a great job. What do you think?
Absolutely blown away. It looks awesome.
Good.
I can't believe I'm going to be racing in this year.
Well, I'm pleased to see that we haven't done the graphics on the nose. That shows a degree of confidence that we might be replacing it. I guess they've seen you drive.
I was going to say, because this is a replaceable item, as are the...
Yeah, what we do is Caterham racing is very, very close. You're in an open car, so you can hear everyone around you all the time, which means you race far closer than you would in a saloon. So we kind of accept that the wings and nose are, let's not go so far as a consumable item, but they're readily replaced, and we only carry black.
Okay, so you haven't got much faith in me. You think that's going to be replaced?
That wasn't my choice. They have put a little bit of lipstick around the front for you.
Oh, I've got my V-Box here already, all built in. Very good.
Yep, so you can show off on your channel as to your amazing laps, qualifying, pole.
No pressure.
Right.
And the Academy car in general, the main differences over what one of these typical cars?
Very little, if I'm honest. It is effectively a 7270, but just in race trim. You know, there's nothing extra on it other than the safety items, and it runs standard road suspension, narrow track. In fact, it's a backward step in some ways because we put on these fantastic Avon tyres.
I did notice those.
Yeah, I say that because Avon are sponsored, but even they will admit that they're there to teach you rather than to grip the track.
Yeah, I don't think the grip's going to be quite as good as that 620S over there.
No, but there's method behind that. You know, if the car is sliding around more and you're getting used to driving it, you'll get more control of the car rather than just hanging on for dear life and waiting for an accident, which is what would happen if we put on a really grippy tyre.
I absolutely love it. I can't believe this is the Lovecars race car, the Academy car for 2021. I'm so chuffed. And one thing that I've noticed is there's about 20 odd cars on the grid, which is pretty much these cars here from that yellow one forward. That's a lot of cars. That's going to be a tight grid. Just
like one of your track days when you're trying to go into a corner on your own, this lot are hopefully just behind you.
You're making me nervous now.
No, I'm not making you nervous.
I think it's time for some
Relax,
questions. We got some questions, so we're going to... Kirsty, thank you very much. You should be on camera, really. So Nick says, when do we get to see your car design? Well, Nick, there you go.
Wish granted.
That was a nice, easy one. Yeah. I think we can dispose of that. I hope a lot of these are for you as well, but do you think you'll be getting your wallet out for that meal? Oh, okay, so this is from Joe, Lucky Supercars on Instagram, who's doing it as well. So we've got a little side bet on who's going to finish first. Now, where do you think I'm going to end up?
Well, the nose cone tells me that you're going to have one or two people in front of you. But you know, Paul, you've been doing driving for a while. You know how to drive, but now you need to learn racecraft.
Do you know, it's very different.
Let's hope for top 10. If I think that's a realistic expectation for you, and if you aim for that, I think you're going to have a fantastic time. Okay.
Well, we all do it because we want to win. We're not here. We're not here
competition.
It is a competition, but top 10, I really want to be a bit more optimistic. But I'll take your top 10 for now, and then I can hopefully over-exceed on the deliverables.
Yeah, I have nothing.
Okay, so this is one for you. This Phil on Instagram says, how much power do Academy cars have?
125 horsepower, maximum 6,800 RPM. It doesn't sound very much at all, but all the cars are all identical, so really it doesn't make a huge amount of difference where that is. In terms of performance, that's still 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, 5 and a bit. And in a car that weighs 550 kilos, you know, you're going to be troubling Ferraris on a track, even in one of these when you go and do a track day.
What top speed on Hanger Straight or something like that? About 110 maybe?
Yeah, probably 110, 115. plus another maybe 5 miles an hour in a tow.
Yeah.
So you need to be really close to the car in front, and then by close I mean nearly touching it, but you will feel the acceleration at that last minute, and that will give you the power to, or the extra speed to overtake.
Because of course you're an ex-academy participant and you've raced Caterhams for a long time as well.
I have raced, yes, it's a long time since I've raced Caterhams, but I've been there, I've learned, and it's a strategic game as much as it is just outright speed. Outright speed will only get you so far. Racecraft is what you need to know, and understanding slipstreaming is a really big part of it.
There's a lot.
Hello and welcome to Silverstone for the final round of the Caterham Motorsport season of 2022. You can see we've got a sort of the overcast skies, and actually it's been spitting with rain. I can see cars, I think, coming to the grid already, and this will be for the start of the Roadsport racing this weekend. I think they'll have completed their green flag lap, so we're going to get right into the action straight away. And you can see there on the front row we have Charlie Lower lining up alongside Freddie Chiddicks, James Cook and David Rook line up behind him. Sorry, so James Cook and Jeff Newman behind him, Joe Priday and David Rook, Woodman and then Benja Headley. So you can see them all getting lined up on their positions. They have got 3 races this weekend, full 3 races. They are not in Europe. We're here at Silverstone International with the Academy and the Roadsport. And over in Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium, the 270s, 310s and 420s are out there. 7 Championship UK all having their grand final races. Just seeing a couple of cars getting manoeuvred. You can see the wind on the left of the circuit is flapping away, and you've got a bit of a tailwind into turn 1. Turn 1's always an interesting proposition here, running on the international circuit. So we start on the kind of Formula 1 start-finish straight. But we're only using the south side of this. The marshals are clearing away, so it looks like we are going to get this race underway. We've got a green flag at the back signalling that we're ready for the first 20-minute action for the Caterham Roadsports. They've got 3 races this weekend. How are they going to fare? We'll talk through, as the race progresses, the championship connotations and the various points. There are lights to go out, and we head off into turn 1 then on this first lap of the Caterham Lovecars Roadsport Championship. Looks like Charlie Lower's got a good start off the line there ahead of Freddie Chiddicks pulling into that. And then we've got the Rook in the 3rd place. Sorry, it was Cook in 3rd place as the rest of the field flow on through. Jeff Newman and Charlie Lower are all sort of hanging in there in the championship. There's a 5-point gap between the two of them as we watch them now coming through the link and down onto the Hangar Straight. We're using the South Circuit, so this is where they join onto the Hangar Straight. You can see that the number 15 of Cook there is in that 3rd place ahead of Jeff Newman. So Charlie Lower, over the course of this race weekend, over the course of 3 races, needs to take out 5 points that Newman takes as a lead coming into this. You can see there's still a little bit of spray on the back straight or down the Hangar Straight as there was a little spray of a little shower as we just came into this race. You can see that's causing a little bit of low grip and a low adhesion, but they've been testing over the last couple of days, and yeah, they'll be out and ready for their first. Jeff Newman looking around the outside there of Cook and making that stick on the sort of slightly drier outside line. You can see that though Cook makes his way back through, so he's going to maintain that 4th place just for the minute, and everyone further back is running through and making it. You can see how wide the Silverstone International Circuit is. There's plenty of room for Caterhams. That means that all these corners are incredibly wide and flowing, and we will see some high speeds, but you can see that spray still being kicked up, so they really are going to have to be careful. There will be a dry line after some racing action we've just had out on circuit, but they will be struggling to get the traction down if they go off of that drying line, let's call it that for now. But it is Charlie Lower doing what he needs to do for the time being. He's got a couple of cars also between him, so every time we see cars between Charlie Lower out front in that white and blue car, Jeff Newman is the number 33 car. The car you can see there blue with the fluoro orange roll cage as they head off down Hangar Straight, and we pick them up here at the sort of Stowe end of the circuit. Charlie Lower getting a little gap there, back to Freddie Chiddicks, then it's Cook, and then we've got Newman. Remember, Newman's the one that in the blue and orange yellow car that he wants to catch back up with Charlie Lower if he wants to maintain his championship charge, and it looks like Jeff Newman may have got past as they head round Stowe for that time. Indeed he has made that 3rd place stick this time. Now next up on his shopping list is Freddie Chiddicks as they head into the Vale, though. Cook dives back down the inside there. Is it slippy? He's got some grip, but Jeff Newman holds on around the outside as they head off round. Remember, this is a 20-minute race, but because they are not out in Europe, we're running with just the Academy in Roadsport, they've been given the opportunity to have 3 races, which they're going to be running this weekend. So the championship will not be decided in the first race today, but it certainly can be sort of solidified. Jeff Newman comes in here in that best position, but he can't win it today, and we will update all the kind of championship sort of permutations tomorrow. But Charlie Lower is doing exactly what he needs to do at the moment. It's really been Charlie Lower, Freddie Chiddicks, and Jeff Newman who have been sort of heading of this field most of the year. We did see Cook and Rook have made their way up through the field together, and they've been pushed into this top flight of the grid. And we also saw Woodman is back out with us this weekend. So Paul Woodman, good to have the Lovecars presenter on with us. And in the Lovecars sponsored Caterham Roadsport Championship, Charlie Lower has not managed to shake. He's got that little gap, but it's not enough to shake. And I can hear them hitting that rev limiter as they come into Stowe. So that's going to be limiting their pace down into there for this opening round. I said that the wind was sort of a tailwind as they went up the start-finish straight, which means it's going to be a headwind as they head down into Stowe, and that will normally mean that the tow and the amount of speed they will gain by following another car will be quite significant today. And into Stowe, that's a very good overtaking opportunity, although most of the corners around the international circuit in a Caterham, given the width of the track, are good overtaking opportunities. We will see Caterhams over the course of this weekend making use of that, no doubt. There is Cook in the number 15 then. He's holding well and truly onto that top 4. He's not in for the championship charge today, but he is going to be acting as interference. Freddie Chiddicks, remember, also is in for the podium spots of this, and he needs to have a couple of good sets of results just to make sure that he can also take those podium positions in the championship when we get to the end of this race weekend. So out again then onto the Hangar Straight. Newman currently with the fastest lap, 22.0, and the lap record is for the Roadsport is 20.4, so they're still a little bit under that at the moment. So they can see why with the spray coming up off those cars, but as the race weekend goes on, we've got a forecast of differing weather. Look like Jeff Newman may well have been making a move. Paul Woodman was sideways in the number 7 Lovecars car there as he went round the Stowe. Jeff Newman is now part of a 3 wide going into Vale. Again, there's sufficient room down there. They all get it sort of hauled up in time, and it doesn't look like Charlie Lowe is going to be disappearing off. So be interesting to see what Jeff Newman does here. He really does only need to sort of follow Charlie around for these 3 races, and I think that will do enough for him to, depending on fastest laps and things. So he kind of needs to, I think he'll need to at least get one race where he finishes ahead of Charlie Lower if my maths will work out right. But again, that doesn't really become important until tomorrow when we know exactly what needs to happen. Right now, they just need to do the best they can and finish as high as they can, and they are maximising their chances by being in that front 3 spots on the grid right now. Rook, though, is definitely not going anywhere, is he, in his Welsh flag liveried machine as they head on round the link. Jeff Newman just exploring the edge of limit there, the rear of his car waggling away as they headed down and out onto Hangar Straight. It's pretty chilly outside at the moment. It's definitely not the, we're definitely autumnal now, and with that threat of rain and showers that we've got over this course of this weekend, it will be definitely playing on their mind a little bit. And Jeff Newman having a little bit of a look down the inside as we went into Stowe that time, and saw Woodman having a bit of rear end moment last time, and it looked like Newman also finding there's a lack of rear grip as they head round that corner. Obviously, you're leaning on those tyres an awful lot as you head round Stowe. Cook getting a little bit out of shape there, a little locked tyre as Chiddicks is fighting side by side with him. Chiddicks will have that run round the outside of the Vale. See a few wings already from the chasing pack on the outside there of Club Corner as they head off to start their next lap. They've completed 5 laps already. Minute 22 for these cars. 21.975 is now Newman with that lap record. New lap records are, fastest laps. Fastest laps are going to become relevant and important today. So yes, worth keeping an eye on them for sure. Because those extra points, you get 1 point for setting the fastest lap in a race. And so that can make all the difference. And other than so first place to second place in this Caterham Roadsport Championship is the difference of 2 points. But obviously, if you set the fastest lap, then you reduce that deficit by a single point. Is Jeff Newman's nose cone slightly astray? No, it's just the camera angle there as we came down the Hangar Straight. Then we have got a side-by-side now for the lead. Charlie Lower slow out there onto the Hangar Straight, and the tow allowed Jeff Newman to actually make that pass, complete it before we got in, and it looks like Chiddicks is also going to make his way through. Wonder whether that was anything. It's absolutely as close as you like between Newman and Lower as they headed round Stowe that time, and they're very trusting of each other to not make contact. And Jeff Newman's up the inside now of Vale, does move his car up into pole position for now. So he started 4th on the grid, and a little bit lower down. Chiddicks is now fighting side by side with Cook there as well. So they're still sort of shuffling the order as they head around here, and it is the championship, it does depend on this, and so Charlie Lower kind of needs cars in between himself and Jeff Newman. At the moment, they are just running nose to tail, and he will gather back a single solitary point by being ahead. Newman still holding that fastest lap at this stage of the race. We are just approaching that kind of halfway stage of this 20-minute road sport race. Newman having to deal with Cook that time through Village and out into the link. A little bit bumpy around here through the link, and it's really tricky to find your turning point, especially when the grip conditions are changing each time they come through. It's definitely drying out. They've got the sun sort of making a slight appearance, and for as good as it's worth, it's trying its hardest to dry out this circuit. You can see the spray is a little bit reduced now, especially as they're moving offline, but it is Charlie Lower this time through who holds that. Jeff Newman trying to protect from Cook, and Jeff Newman, by protecting, goes onto that wet track. He's going to have wet tyres. The rear of his car is dancing around a little bit. Charlie Lower has to be going out towards the edge of the track there, and yeah, a little bit of a shuffle, but Charlie Lower comes out of that ahead of Newman. Newman is not done quite yet, looking down the inside of Vale. A little bit of spray on the inside of that corner. It seems to be the sort of wettest part of the track as they come through that Vale and around Stowe. So that is normally the case. It normally dries out there a bit slower than everywhere else. And on this international circuit, that's obviously the latter part of the lap as we head into another, as we come up this start finish, the Hamilton Straight, and then into Abbey. It's right-hander now. It's depending on wind direction. I think today with the tailwind, it might not be flat out, but it's normally a flat out corner. There goes Newman and Charlie Lower fighting it out as they head through the link, and then Beckett's and back out and onto the hanger straight again. Here come through the link. That bumpy bit of track, looking for that wide apex and then getting back on that throttle just as soon as you can to carry as much speed as you can down this hanger straight. This time through, Charlie Lower's got a little bit of a gap again, hasn't he? So it's a couple of times that gap looks like it's been threatening. So it's Newman having to look in his mirrors rather than fighting in front. But he's going to have an absolutely clear toe off of Charlie Lower as they head down into Stowe this time. Looking for those brake markers and then carrying as much speed as you can. Jeff taking a very tight line there onto what surely is a damp part of the circuit. It did grip and didn't sort of slide on him, so it's a good sign that the grip is developing for them as they head through. Having to protect heavily though. Every time he has to defend to the inside, like you can see him doing on the screen now, as he slides it around the Vale there. It really is slippy as they head through that left-hander at the Vale. They head into this right-hander where it looks like it's dried out now and will be absolutely flat out. You've still got to pick your line though. It's not an easy corner and it's easy to make a mistake around there. But it looks like Chiddix is now going to be threatening for that second place, which Newman currently holds, and looks like he wants to hold round the outside. It's quite tricky to get two cars through here. It looks like that is fully dry around there, otherwise that wouldn't have happened. So it did manage to grip on, and then looks like Chiddix is actually going to have to defend from Cook. A little bit back just to fill you in. So next up in fifth place is Woodman. Then we have Rook, Jones, Theo Theato and James Moon. So that is the top, that's down to the top 9. Top 10 is Headley, is finishing up that top 10 the last time over the line as we continue to watch these lead cars in their battle through the field. Here is Charlie Lower. Again, that gap has developed a little bit since the last time. It's still only half a second the last time they went over the line. There is the Woodman and Theo Theato battle. Just a little bit trailing now, so they've got a little bit of a gap there, haven't they? 5 seconds back to that trailing battle. Head on around Stowe again. You can see that spray being kicked up as they head down towards the wing where all friends and family are all interested watching how this championship's going to how it's going to resolve itself over the course of this race weekend. As we went directly into the action, say we are also the 270s, 310s and the Caterham 7 Championship UK. They are out in Spa, and we will, over the course of the weekend, try and keep you abreast of that action so we can see where we're going with those championships as well. But we are firmly ensconced in that. Charlie Lower there taking that fastest lap, so that means he is going to be getting a 3-point swing in this race. If checkered flag was out now, that would be a 3-point swing. That would be a 2-point advantage for winning the race, and then a further point over Jeff Newman for taking that fastest lap. These fastest laps, it feels like, are going to be absolutely crucial this weekend, and really will see things that could decide the championship. We've certainly seen that on occasions before. Most of the championships we're going to cover, the podium positions are all coming down to whether they're going to get championship, as a fastest lap points as well. So they all does become relevant and important. That gap is yet further. It was 4/10 last time over the line. It was a second this time out. It is possible to break away around the Silverstone International Circuit, but it takes the situation that we see exactly now, which is Charlie Lower able to make his car as use every single last inch of the track and maximise his speed, while Jeff Newman has to protect from the drivers around him. And that is why we're seeing that Jeff Newman having to take compromised lines and therefore slipping backwards from the rear clutches of Charlie Lower. But Charlie Lower will be happy to see that in his wing mirror, but it's not going to be sufficient yet to feel comfortable at all. And such is the tow around this Silverstone circuit, and especially in these road sport cars and the Academy cars this weekend that are running still with their windscreens. And all you can see are their fully lights and their number plates. They are fully road legal machines. You can spend your weekend racing them here at Silverstone and then even choose to drive them home. And some drivers have even done that, and I think still do that. So it's great to see that these road legal machines are out in the environment they love, which is out here on the track. And that's certainly one of the amazing things about Caterhams and their action. Second step of the Caterham Motorsport ladder. All these drivers you see here were all a part of the Academy last year. We're going to be talking about the Academy because we've got 2 races for them today, and we will cover them off as they come up later in the day. But these drivers would have been in the Caterham Academy last year, racing each other across the green and white groups. And in fact, it was Jeff Newman and Freddie Chiddix who were battling out, and Charlie Lower was in the opposite group to them. Jeff Newman and Charlie Lower bringing home those championships. So they are both reigning championships, and they are both fighting it out this year to find out who is going to be the winner in the Caterham Roadsport, who's going to be 2022 Caterham Roadsport champion. Of course, the Academy and the Roadsport, you only get one chance to win those championships. You cannot stay in Roadsport, and once you've done your Academy, you can't stay in the Academy. So you only get one chance to win both those championships. And Charlie Lower and Jeff Newman have taken that single chance that they got in their Academy and converted, but certainly they'll be looking to see who can make it to be that road sport. James Cook now taking that in that 4th place, taking that super tow down the back straight and maybe even picking up the tow as they came up the Hamilton straight that time through, took that fastest lap, and that means that Charlie Lower is only back to those 2 points advantage. And remember, he needs to gain 5 points over Jeff Newman over the course of this weekend. Another unique aspect of this weekend for the road sports has been that they took part in a Super Pole qualifying this morning. We saw that as Chiddix sort of pulls out of the slipstream to the outside, which looks like it's the drier side of the track, doesn't it? You can see the changes in colour in the tarmac are even visible now to our cameras as they head on round, and the drivers will be trying to work to pick out where those drying parts of the track. Newman lost the rear of the car as he exited. He's trying to push as much speed as he could. Cook is, though, up his inside. Is he going to lose out a couple of places? A little bit of contact there as he defended that inside line. That means it's dislodged his rear wing. It doesn't look like it's fully left go. And is that going to cause him a problem? It's going to certainly rub around the car. I think we'll see that depart. Hopefully it'll depart into a safe place on the circuit. And you can see it flapping around. He was just absolutely adamant that Cook was not going to go down the inside of him, but unfortunately Cook was already there, and that's what his front left tyre, there goes the wing on the entry into Abbey that time through. He was adamant he was going to put his car down the inside, and it was... Jeff Newman was not going to let it happen, so he did maintain that place, but that means that Jeff Newman is now fighting in this 3rd place, and remember that means it's a 3-point swing again for Charlie Lower. So each time we see these changes, which are regular and often in a Caterham race, it does change the sort of the toing and froing of the championship. But Jeff still has that 5 points as he came in here, and he'll still have 3. Got a car there sort of circulating quite slowly at the rear of the field. Is that Bateman out at the back of the field? And maybe he'll come into effect as this lead group catch them up. And it certainly looked like they were catching him up at quite a rate of knots. And there is Chiddix now, has come across that gap to Charlie Lower. He continues out front and on his own. And Newman's still having to defend against Cook there. So we watch some of the rear battling there at the exit of club. And this is looking down the straight. There is... Lower and Chiddix. Newman is still ahead of Cook. Still ahead of Cook as they head round here, now up into that Hamilton straight. Remember the wind direction. You can see the flags flapping on the left of our screens, BRSCC flags and the Caterham flags, and it's a tailwind up here, so they will be having to lift off as they turn the car through this right-hander, and it's really is a very, very quick corner there indeed. They're coming there about 100 miles an hour as they head into that corner, depending on the wind direction, and they have to scrub off just a touch as they go there until we get down to this village corner. As Cook's looking around the outside again, Jeff Newman says, nope, no, come on, let's go catch these guys. 52 miles an hour-ish round there, I say ish, 52 miles an hour around that apex, and then onto the link and down the hanger straight. So yeah, just next time you're out on the motorway in your car, just be aware that, so when the road sports, when they're going around Stowe at the bottom here, and okay, granted they'll be a bit slower today, but they're going about 70 miles an hour through Stowe corner. So yeah, imagine being on your motorway and turning your car in, you know, to quite a tight bend. You know, even though it's very, very fast, it's quite a tight bend. And we're taking that corner at about 70 miles an hour before then we haul it all up to the slowest point on the track in the left-hander here at Vale, 45 miles an hour. Pick your braking point, get it all stopped, and make sure you collect that apex. You don't want to run too wide into the first part of the club, because you've got to kind of try and open up and make sure that you can stay on that throttle. Jeff Newman, again, having to balance the rear of that car. It's definitely waggling around a little bit more than the other cars at the moment, and he's having to drive looking forward as well as backwards. We are moving there into the final lap, 44 seconds on the clock. This is a 1:20 lap, 1:20.1 for Jeff Newman, the fastest lap back to Jeff Newman that time, and in fact that is a lap record round here, so he has absolutely found the pace he needs. 20.1, that's going to give him that extra point, but he has a Freddie Chiddicks in front of him, you know, so he's still not got everything his own way at this point. So as we come down then into Link on the final lap, it looks like it's going to be lower out front, and it looks like it's going to be Chiddicks following him home, with then Jeff Newman down in that third place. But with the fastest lap, that's the equivalent of him finishing into that second place, or yeah, getting equivalency of points. They do catch the back marker as they head down the hanger straight. That would have given Charlie Lowe a nice little benefit of the toe. Is Jeff Newman going to try and overtake Freddie Chiddicks, though, into Stowe? He is. He's down the inside. Is he going to get that stopped in time? Is he going to make the contact? That was awfully tight with the rear end of Charlie Lowe's car, but that put Jeff Newman back into second place as they head round Stowe corner. Charlie Lowe now having to look and defend. Can Freddie Chiddicks do anything? He's on the outside. Lowe late on the brakes, locking up the front tyre there as they head on round through. It looks like Lowe is going to make the best of this race, taking that win, but it's Jeff Newman in second place with that fastest lap. Means he's Charlie Lowe's only gained one position back as they head across the line. It's three abreast as they're coming up towards that checker flag, and it is Charlie Lowe takes it over Jeff Newman. Chiddicks takes in that third place. Then comes Cook in that great performance up there, and then it was Jones, Rook and Woodman slipping to seventh at the end, so not sure what happened to Woodman. In fact, they're still yet to cross that line, so let's see where they do cross that. I can hear them out my commentary box now. So Rook was 6 and Woodman was 7. Then it was Theathiato, Moon and Headley. But great result for Lowe, although Jeff Newman did take the fastest lap, and therefore, as I said, that minimises his damage. So with that's a 5-point lead for Charlie Lowe, tail coming into this race. He has now gathered back one of those points. So for the final two races, which we will watch both of those tomorrow, and we're looking forward to those, Charlie Lowe has to gain back another couple of points over Jeff Newman. 4 points over Jeff Newman. That's going to be a tough ask, but it's certainly one Charlie Lowe looks like he's got the pace for, doesn't it? And he came through with that win. Jeff Newman recovering. What a great move into Stowe at the end of that race to push his put his position back to second place with the fastest lap and really limiting those damages. So that really was an important move into Stowe on that final lap of the race. And Chiddicks doing what Chiddicks does, and that's come home in those podium positions. Not been necessarily his year, but he's certainly been absolutely up there. A couple of bad results and a bit of a misfortune has seen the end to his sort of championship charge. Seeing the cars getting lined up there down in the Parc Fermé. So Charlie Lowe taking that first place, Jeff Newman in the second, and then Freddie Chiddicks coming over in the third. So we can see Sam down there, and it's not raining at the moment, Sam, so you've got a bit of a good one as we see the guys jumping out.
The sun is shining, and I think we've definitely got a happy Charlie Lowe. He was delighted crossing the line in first place.
Yeah, absolutely, and really important in the championship, but he's gained back 1 point. He needs another 4 before he's sort of looking to get that championship. You can see he's taking it. So let's be good to hear from Charlie and see how he felt that race went.
Hello, Charlie. Congratulations. I think you must be absolutely thrilled with that one.
Absolutely over the moon. I knew what I had to do, so once I got a bit of a gap, I was a bit cautious of them catching up, to be fair, especially coming to the last lap. I was like, how's this back marker going to play into this and whatnot, but it came out the best solution it could have, so yeah, really happy.
Excellent. Good point. More points for the championship.
Yeah, more points. More the merrier.
Excellent, well done. I'll move over and have a chat with, I will move to Freddie. Congratulations, Freddie. You must be happy with that. More points for the championship, closer to the top.
Yeah, more points for the championship, but I think any race where you lose a place on the last lap is a bit of a, not hard one to swallow, but yeah, good race, and hopefully 2 more the same tomorrow, or better.
Better, exactly. Well, congratulations. Thank you. I'll move over to Jeff in a moment. He's just talking to the circuit.
Yeah, so Jeff getting
radio.
a lap record that time through. So, so he definitely 120.0. So yeah, he improved it even on that last lap. So he was absolutely flying along, and that will be really important in his championship defence.
Amazing. I will tell him that he'll be thrilled. His car's looking a little bit sad with missing a wing.
Yeah, that was.
But here we go.
We'll
move over to Jeff. Hi, Sam. Hello, Jeff. Congratulations, and fastest lap, which is a new lap record.
Really, a new lap record in the intermediate conditions? Wow, that's stunned me. I think though that tomorrow will beat that. I mean, I was doing like 17.5s yesterday, so I don't know what I was doing today, but I expect that I'll be able to beat that. But yeah, tremendous race. There was a bit of toing and froing in the paddock about whether we'd be dry or wet setup, so that was a bit of excitement beforehand. But then to have it drying gradually was great. Yeah, I'm over the moon. Thank you very much indeed.
And what setup did you go for then? Wet or dry?
Intermediate.
Ooh.
Who knew there would be such a thing on this? Yeah, an intermediate setup. So yeah, I mean, we knew that the track was going to dry out relatively quickly. So it's done that when we were testing here yesterday. So yeah, intermediate it was, and it worked well.
Excellent. Well done. Congratulations. I'll let you move to the podium in a moment.
Sam.
Thank you.
Yeah, Sam, I definitely fed you a blooper there. It wasn't a lap record; it was the fastest lap, so that was my fault. But yeah, great result for the road sports though, and that really does set up the championship for tomorrow, because it looks like it's within reach for Charlie. But Jeff Newman's still fairly solid. If I was driving, I'd be happy where I was with Jeff.
Yes, well, actually, what was the quickest time for this race? Was it 1 minute 20, did you say?
Yeah, 20.0, and the lap record is at 18.1, so a couple of seconds just thereabouts down on their kind of full speed.
Yes, and like Jeff said, he thinks he'll be getting that tomorrow, so we shall see.
Yeah, so testing, they've had this over the last couple of days, and the kind of conditions and that, they've kind of had a bit of everything, so I guess he was just most comfortable in those intermediate conditions.
Exactly, yeah. So they're all moving their way around to the podium, so we will move over to that in a moment to get everyone to enjoy the celebrations. Yeah,
it'll be great to see that. They're going to be using the Formula 1 podium. You can see there on the end of the wing building there. You can see the flag, the Caterham flag's up there by that, and so they'll be manoeuvring themselves up. But yeah, we've got plenty, 3 races. I'm just going to go through confirmation of the provisional order then. Charlie Lower takes that win over Jeff Newman by half a second. Freddie Chiddicks is in a 3rd place, James Cook 4th, Mark Jones comes home 5th, David Rook, Paul Woodman, Thea Theato, James Moon and Benja Headley rounds out that top 10. So great for the top 10 of that result. And again, yeah, all that going to be... So yeah, we'll make sure we add in all the points for the drivers overnight, and then that means that we'll be able to feedback tomorrow with those. But it looks like we are ready with those podiums then, with the first driver there picking up their thing, and that will be the driver in 3rd place. So that'll be Freddie Chiddicks getting his trophy. Jeff Newman there getting his onto the 2nd place position, holding his championship trophy aloft nearly. He's getting close to one of that. See that wind? But there is Charlie Lower taking that win, doing what he could do in that race to maximise his chances. And they step up there onto the top step. Great to see our drivers all enjoying that racing, all in a good mood. Like I say, Charlie Lowe doing what he needed to do, and they get the champagne ready to spray, doing what he needed to do up there in that top step, maximising his chances, but Jeff limiting those losses. And they are going to go into day 2 with a little bit of a damp race suits. Race 1 done. So it's going to be an unusual thing for them to have those 3 races. But that is the first of their 3 races this weekend complete. And in the books, we will be back with them tomorrow. Got plenty more action. Got a couple of sort of 40 minutes or so now before we have the next Caterham action out on track, where we'll have the Academy White group and also the Academy Green group for the their championship deciders. They've got an extra race tomorrow in the Caterham Academy Trophy. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but today are their 2 championship deciders, starting with the Caterham Academy White Group, which is going to go absolutely down to the wire. So we'll fill you in on all those details as those racing comes up. But yeah, 40 minutes or so, we'll be back with Caterham action, Caterham Academy White Group, and we look forward to bringing you that in a
Hello, and you join us for something a little bit different now, away from the Caterhams. My name's Stephen, I'm from the Mini 7 Racing Club, and sat beside me, we've got one of the Mini 7 racers, Spencer Wanstall.
Hello everyone, I'm going to be accompanying Stephen here today, doing a bit of commentary, so forgive us if we're a bit amateurish, it's our first time at it, but we're going to give it our best shot, and I'm sure the racing will do plenty of the talking for us.
Okay, so this is the Mini Miglia series, and you join us if you've not seen any of the racing before this season. This is our final rounds of the year, so rounds 15 and 16, which conveniently is the 15th and the 16th of October.
Yep.
Somebody planned that well. So these, Spencer, do you want to talk us through a bit of the spec on these cars? These are 1300 cc.
Yeah, so these are sort of mini touring cars with full race-tuned engines, 1300s are, completely slick tyres. You know, these are the sort of premier mini level of motorsport. So I think we're just pulling up on the grid now, and we're nearly ready to go.
We are nearly ready to go. If you want to quickly run through the, let's go through the top 5.
So we've got Andrew Jordan qualified on pole. Second place we've got Aaron Smith. Third is Ashley Davis. Fourth is Phil Bullen-Brown. And fifth we have Kane Astin.
As the marshal waves the green flag there at the end of the green flag lap, they are ready to go. They'll have 5 lights.
5 laps come on, the board's being shown. Get ready to go.
So build the revs up. And these 10-inch slick tyres, they've just about got a little bit of heat into them. So
And it's lights out.
and away we go. So it's a quick start as ever from Andrew Jordan as Darren Mason lights up one tyre fire there off the back. And it's Aaron Smith into the lead.
Yep, we've got Rupert Deef on a flyer as well. He looks like he's got off to a great start.
So lap record here is Gareth Baldwin is
Gareth
pulling
Baldwin's
up.
taking a spin there into the first corner. Looks like he's got it going again though.
Lap record here is Andrew Jordan, who is in second place at the moment. But Spencer, he's not actually leading the championship as such this year.
No, he's only picked and chosen a few this year due to other commitments. So we've got
And we have a safety car.
Safety car, is it? Okay.
As they head down the hangar straight, I believe there is a safety car coming up for Darren Mason there. We saw him lighting up a tyre, but that may be something a little bit more serious looking underneath the car there. We got
a lot of smoke there. Looks a bit
drive
dangerous.
shaft loose by the look of it. As, Kane Astin leads the way as he comes down through Stowe Corner, down to the main wing, and this is a particularly tricky corner.
So they're going to be collected by the safety car, I believe, when they come round into the start-finish straight, if we've got a safety car.
Now, Spencer, you know a bit more about this than me. So in this situation, do we have a full restart?
It depends what colour flag we've got. If we've got just yellow flags and they'll be collected by a safety car, then we'll sort of go to a period where the marshals will come out, they'll clear up any debris on the track, get rid of the unsafe vehicle while the cars are all going around at a reduced speed. We'll then have to wait for, it doesn't actually look like we've got a safety car.
We've got double wave yellows in that section, but they are fully racing again. And we've got Jeff Smith's made a break through the pack as he goes wide.
Went for a bit of a lunge there. It didn't quite pay off, but he's not lost too much time. He's still with the lead pack.
And really the battle this weekend is between the pink car there of Aaron Smith and Rupert Deef, who's right behind him. So these two, Spencer, are on level points coming into this weekend. So it's really all or nothing for them, isn't it?
Been neck and neck all year. Both come into this weekend level on points on drop scores, and basically whoever finishes ahead of who this weekend wins the championship. So it literally is winner takes all this weekend.
As they fly into Stowe, they'll be doing just over 100 miles an hour as they head in there. You see them pivoting a rear wheel in the air. They're very stiffly sprung.
Bit of a wiggle there from Ashley Davis. Looks to get a big heated up in that battle behind them for the second group, as Kane Astin and Andrew Jordan just seem to be edging away a bit. And that's going to be doing them all the world of good. They just want to work together there and keep going because they'll be breaking the toe from behind, and that will mean sort of lead Aaron back into the pack.
As Rupert's dropped back behind Phil Bullen-Brown there.
Yep, so it's advantage Aaron Smith at the moment in terms of the championship.
Okay.
So we've got the fastest lap of the race there for Kane Astin. He's just gone through and done a 1:19.5. So we're some way off the lap record pace at the moment.
It's still a little bit damp out there. We did have some rain earlier on in the day, didn't we? So it's perhaps a bit difficult conditions at the moment while the tyres start to warm up.
Yeah, and it looks like the lead two are lapping over half a second quicker than the group behind. So that lead, as I say, is just going to build and build and build. And that's very valuable around here as these sort of brick-shaped cars live off toes down this back hanger straight.
As
You can see
Andrew
them.
Jordan there moves into lead. Sorry, Spencer, to interrupt you there.
That's
So,
right.
they don't want to be in the lead for too long in this, do they? Because it does wear your tyres out
And
somewhat.
then side by side coming into Stowe there, and Kane's just slipped back up the inside. Great
They can think of this almost like track cycling, where everyone's holding back. They
Yeah.
don't want to be in the lead of this race for too long. You kind of wait until.
Just looks like the backpack are reeling them in now, so this could get interesting for the lead, as Jeff Smith and Aaron seem to have just be creeping up to the back of Kane and Andrews. See, they've had a one-lap battle, and it's just opened the door back for that group behind again, and they'll now be getting back in the tow. As you can see, Jeff Smith slotting into the tow there. He'll be being pulled up to the back of that car just by the sort of slipstream. So, and everyone behind him will be benefiting from that as well.
So we've got a 7 or 8 car train there, all coming through, all very, very similarly paced. As Kane's still holding the lead there. But as I say, this is tactical at this point, I would think. Everyone's holding back in that top 5 pack.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see how the slipstream works now as we come into the hanger straight. And you may be in the lead, but I don't think it will last very long.
Bumper to bumper there.
Bumper, literally.
Just giving them a little nudge. Can you feel that from inside the car, Spencer?
Yeah, you'd feel a little nudge. I mean, you expect it around somewhere like this, a short
As they're
track. A short
3
lap.
abreast down hanger straight, I mean, you could
It's
easily
gonna
get
be
6
4
of these
abreast in a minute
cars.
by the looks of it. As Aaron Smith pulls to the inside, it looks like Andrew Jordan's just slipped up the inside there, and Aaron Smith goes for the inside. He's got 2 in 1 there, has he? Or can he pull the move off? He's now on the outside for Stowe, so for Vale. So it looks like he might be hung out to dry a bit there.
Now we've just got to avoid that sausage curb on the inside.
Yeah.
As Jeff just skims it. Oh, and he's gone round.
Contact.
So there is some contact there between Jeff Smith and Kane Astin. I'm sure there'd be some words after the race about that one.
Well, let's see if we can Hopefully Kane can get
now,
that going again.
2 championship rivals there. The pink car on the right and the silver and orange car on the left of Rupert Deef. So it is all to play for between these 2.
And through goes Rupert into second place.
Andrew Jordan seemingly driving off on his own there, as these 6 or 7 behind him are all battling for the lead.
Very defensive move there from Rupert. Looks like Rupert's not going for the pull away option. He's going for the defend option, which hasn't paid off as Aaron comes up the inside. Is he going to pull the move off? Yes, he is. And as they come onto the back hanger straight, Aaron Smith takes the championship advantage. But how long for?
Probably not very long.
No.
So it's quite windy out there today, Spencer. So they were
Rupert's
saying
already got back in front of him. Sorry to interrupt, Stephen.
in qualifying it was worth around about 3/4 of a second if you got a tow down the hanger straight.
Yeah.
So they may be small cars and they may be relatively powerful, 130, 140 horsepower for what they are.
Yeah.
But they are shaped like a brick.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why the tow and the slipstream is so important. These aren't in any way, shape or form aerodynamically inclined. So getting any aero advantage you can by the slipstream on these long straights at Silverstone can be massive, give you a massive advantage.
So fastest lap at the moment, it goes to Jeff Smith. And don't forget, you will get an extra point in the championship for that.
Yeah.
Jeff is still there. If you look in the midfield there, the orange car, Dukes of Hazzard style car on the left of the shot there as they come down.
Just in the back of shot there as well, we've got Dan Lewis creeping up, and he'll be leading the Libra class there. So great effort from Dan to be sort of tagging onto the back of the Miglia class. As you can see,
Absolutely.
Dan just in the back of shot there, coming straight through the field.
So there are 2 races going on here. We've got the Mini Libras at the back, and these are the unlimited tuning cars.
Yeah, and looks like we've got Dan Lewis leading that at the moment.
Great to see Ashley Davis there on the SMG, the blue purple car, making his way up. He's the 2016 Mini 7 champion. And it's taken him, I'd say, a fair year to kind of really get on the pace, but he's there now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's had a steep learning curve this year as he's joined the sort of big boys in the Miglias, but he's definitely getting back up to speed now. He was always really quick in the 7. And here then taking him to find his feet, and it very much looks like he's found his feet now. As we've got
He's there.
Rupert and Aaron side by side, coming into Vale. Can Aaron pull the move off? He's on the inside there. He's got the advantage line. And through goes Aaron Smith into second place and into the lead of the championship.
Fantastic clean move, and we've still got all the wheel arches attached on these top 4 cars.
Ashley's now up the inside of Rupert. Has Rupert got a problem? He seems to have slowed a bit.
Either he's slowing or he's waiting for that tow.
Yeah, he's now at the back of the train.
Come down the Hamilton straight.
He's got 3 minis towing him down that straight.
As you see now, it's Colin Peacock in that second group of cars there, as Dan Lewis pulls out. So he's our lead Mini Libra driver with a blue windscreen header on the top. So that denotes the more powerful, unlimited tuning class machines.
Yeah. So we've got a 4-way battle for the lead here, and then a 4-way battle for 5th place. We've got sort of 2 subgroups seem to have formed here.
Now, Andrew Jordan seems to have come into the clutches of Aaron Smith there. He's really close, isn't it? It's well under a second.
It's going to be interesting to see how the end of this race unravels as we're coming just close to the halfway point now.
So we've got 11 minutes 20 to go. What would you do at this moment if you're in that top 4, Spencer?
I'd probably be doing exactly what Aaron's doing now, and just you've got to go for the attack really. As Aaron pulls to the outside line into Stowe, very difficult move to pull off there, and he's just tucked back in behind Andrew, as Rupert has pulled the move off around the outside of Ashley Davis.
It's an incredible move around the outside of there. That takes some bravery. As we've got Dan Lewis there from the second group of cars in the Mini Libras. Now, he's our champion from last year. He's not in the Leader Championship this year. He's been concentrating on other things, so he hasn't done every single round, but that is a mighty fast car there with the 8-port power.
Yeah, it looks like a great battle developing behind here with some strong performances. Oh, and we've got a change of lead with Aaron Smith coming into the lead. Must have got that going into the complex around Vale, and then Andrew Jordan
takes it
retakes the
straight
lead.
back.
And Ashley Davis through into 3rd place. You can't take your eyes off this race.
You don't stay in the lead for long in a Mini Miglia race, especially on a big circuit like
this, no.
the Silverstone International Circuit is very fast compared to, say, Anglesey, where we were last month.
Exactly, yeah. And Aaron will be looking in his mirror here and be over the moon to see another car in between him and Rupert, as that will just be more and more points going onto the leaderboard. As Dan Lewis sets the fastest lap of the race in his Mini Libra, so well done to Dan there.
What really happens, it comes into its own on the longer straights here, is power. So you can see that orange and grey car is thundering down on the lead pack, so we may even have a bit of an upset here.
Got 3 for the lead here as Ashley Davis pulls to the inside. Ashley looks like to have the advantage as we go into this corner.
A little bit of contact, but I think they're okay.
And Aaron Smith does pull it off this
3 abreast.
Going around the outside of 2 of them at the same time, and he's pulled a little gap there. Brilliant move by Aaron as they come into Vale.
Meanwhile, Aaron Smith out front, kind of rubbing his hands as he sees those 3 cars in his mirror, just hoping they tangle.
And Ashley's managed to pull into 3rd there. Great move by Ashley. And another car in between Aaron and Rupert. So
now, as they cross the finish line there, Spencer, you were saying to me earlier in the race, that's the finish line's further up the straight than the start line.
Yep.
So there's no slipstreaming on that last lap, so they've really got to get it done by the last corner.
Yep, so when you see that last lap board come out, it means let's go, basically. Still got 9 minutes to go, so we should have about 7 or 8 more laps. So, I mean, keep it coming.
You
This is
can't
a great race.
take your eyes off this. This is amazing racing. Always promises
As
amazing
always,
racing. Yeah, it's incredible. And also just goes to show how close in terms of speed and the regulations these cars are. They're all very strict regulations. It keeps them all virtually the same.
Aaron seems to have run a little bit wide coming onto the hangar straight there, so we'll be keen to see if he manages to hold into the lead all the way down the straight. As Rupert's pulled to the inside of Ashley, he'll probably pull that move off by the time we get to the end of the straight. He's now picked up the toe from Aaron, and can he do them all in one? Aaron's gone for the defensive, and he can just slow that down now and put the car in the apex, and Rupert will be boxed in, won't be able to get through.
Ashley Davis, meanwhile, into 3rd and having an absolutely mega race.
Yeah, this has got to be the best performance from Ashley so far this year. It's great to see him back up there mixing it with the front guys.
Absolutely, he's on the same pace. I mean, he's been on the podium, but you'd say probably not quite up there speed-wise, but he's there, isn't he?
Aaron's on
he's
the
back.
and he's got the inside line, and he takes 2nd place, but has he compromised his exit here? I think he might have. As Rupert comes into the Rupert just tucks in behind Aaron there.
Meanwhile, we've got a visitor in the background, which is Dan Lewis. He's flying down the inside. I was going to say maybe he's going to hold back and not get involved in this battle, but no, his elbows out. There he is. So he's moved up to 4th place overall. Dan Lewis there is going for ultimate glory.
Yeah.
Now, it's always the question, isn't it, Spencer, why the Libra cars don't drive away from it with all the extra power?
Yeah, and Dan maybe has decided he doesn't actually want to get involved. Seems to have let Rupert back past there, but he has slowed Rupert up there, so Rupert's now fallen back a bit, and I'm not sure he'll have the toe coming into the back straight.
Now, are any of these guys in teams as such? They're going to be helping each other out?
So you've got the same engine builder for Andrew Jordan and Rupert Deef, which is Swift Tune, so they may work together coming towards the end of the race, and especially the 2nd race tomorrow. Ashley pull to the outside, and we've got can he pull it off? Aaron's pulled it off once this race, but Ashley can't quite pull it off as he's right up his backside, coming out of that corner as they head up towards Vale. He comes to the outside. Ashley's tried this a few times. He's pulled it off a few times. Can he do it this lap? Seems to be a bit later on the brakes. And no, he just can't quite pull that off around the outside of Andrew Jordan. Of course, Andrew Jordan, bundles of experience, bundles of time in a race car.
And this probably feels like slow motion compared to the touring car racing.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
But he seems to enjoy it just as much. it's probably as close.
Yeah, it's just as close, probably a little bit cleaner, and not nearly as many politics. So it's just a great option for him, and he can come away and race with his father.
So Andrew Jordan runs Jordan Racing Team, who specialise now in historic cars away from the touring cars.
Yep.
So
as he goes on the defensive there, coming into this corner with Ashley right up behind him, and you've got the two championship contenders behind him, with Aaron Smith currently still remaining with the advantage, as it has been for the majority of this race. But is Rupert keeping something up his sleeve for the latter stages? Is Rupert just holding back? Is he saving his tyres?
Jeff Smith, meanwhile, is just
Whoa,
coming
nearly
onto
off
the
the
hanger
track.
straight there, and he's a fair way back now. He's going to be fuming in that car from that battle earlier with Kane Aston, I imagine.
Yeah, I'd imagine. all
Once you
parties
break that toe, it's very, very hard to keep up.
So we've got three abreast here coming into corner. They've just caught a back marker as well. A little bit of contact there, and it's Aaron Smith slips through for the lead. And we've got
Peter
Rupert
Harris
Deep
right in the middle of the action there. As Aaron Smith is
a little bit sketchy there.
yeah,
We've got-
kind
we've
of
got a
rubbing
change
his
of
hands and
lead.
trying to get away.
So with 5 minutes to go, we've got Aaron Smith pulling into the lead, Andrew Jordan second, Rupert D third, Ashley Davies fourth. It's all change every lap. Can't quite keep
So
up
we've
with
got
the
5
order
minutes
here.
to go now, Spencer. We're probably going to get about, what, 4 more laps?
Yeah, probably 4 more laps. About 1 minute 15 a lap. So yeah, about 4 laps to go.
Now, these cars are quicker than Formula One car around here. The thing I haven't mentioned is they're only doing half the track.
Yeah.
So, but
This
still, I
time-
mean, these are far removed from your road mini. These are slick tired. It's all in the corners, isn't it? The speed in these cars.
Yeah, and then as we've mentioned many times, just down the straights, it's all about the slipstream. So Aaron Smith is the leading carriage of the train this time. But as we've seen pretty much every lap, by the time we get to Stowe, they'll probably be neck and neck as they all pull out of the toe towards the end of the straight. So let's see how it goes as they head up the straight. Andrew Jordan's in the toe. He pulls out of the toe. Rupert pulls out of the toe. Once again, we're 3 abreast. Andrew Jordan slots into the lead. And this is where team orders could come into play. Is he going to let Rupert pass to help his championship? Doesn't look like it, actually. No.
I don't think so.
I think he's every man for himself there, as Andrew Jordan leans on Rupert a bit. Rupert runs
As
off
we
the track,
got-
and we're still 3 abreast. We've gone round Stowe. We're coming into Vale. Rupert Deeve pulls into the...
As Peter Harris goes off there. We had a Andrew Jordan sandwich. As Aaron Smith down the inside.
Smith down the inside of Andrew Jordan and into second place, but it's advantage Rupert Deeve at the moment in terms of
Now,
championship.
we've lost somebody. We've lost Ashley Davis.
Yeah, we
So,
seem to have lost Ashley
unfortunately,
Davis.
he's
very
pulled up.
unfortunate for him.
But Jeff Smith there, coming through, followed up by, there's Ashley.
Such a shame for Ashley. It was great. He was on a great run there.
Yeah,
And
and
he
he's
doesn't look very
in a
happy
bit
at
of
all.
annoyed. I can understand that. It's hard work to get these cars out on the grid, isn't
Yeah,
it?
and he's been doing ever so well, and to have it all sort of go wrong from there, he'll be ever so disappointed.
Try and
but
catch up with him in between races before tomorrow's race and find out what happened there.
Yeah,
Is that Rupert's back into the lead now? I don't
yeah.
remember seeing that happen, but
Looks like Dan Lewis got involved a bit with Andrew Jordan there, so Andrew Jordan's had to sort of have a bit of a battle with him and slowed him up. So
now that's right down the end of the hanger straight by the Porsche Experience
yeah,
Centre
are we
there.
going to
So
get flags is what I'm wondering for the last couple of laps. It doesn't look like we have at the moment, so that's all good. We've got Aaron Smith pulling to the outside. He's going to try and pull the move off. He's done once already today. Not quite able to do it this time around, but Aaron's a very smart racing driver. I know many a time I've seen him hold back for the end of the race. He's good at saving his tyres, good at saving that last extra bit for the last lap.
So he just pokes his nose out there. Show Rupert he's still there.
Yeah.
Put the pressure on.
Rupert-
You quite often see on these last few laps of the race, they'll put the headlights on,
Yeah.
be blazing down. Not that they're the brightest headlights. If you've ever driven a Mini, they're not going to be the brightest headlights, but it is still a bit of a distraction behind you.
And Rupert's looked like he's going for the defensive line there as he weaves down the straight, trying to break that toe, but no chance. Aaron's right behind him. Who's your money on, Stephen?
Honestly, no idea. I mean, I've been watching this Mini racing now for more years than I can count, and you never put your money on it.
And through goes
anyone.
Aaron Smith into the lead. We've got a change of lead for about the 27 millionth time this race.
Yeah, this is what we love.
And is it going to change again as Rupert pulls out? No, he's tucked in behind, but as we go onto the hanger straight, slips into that slipstream, and it's probably going to be all changed by the time we get to the end of the straight. As we've got a back marker here, seems to be slowing. I think that's Peter Harris.
No, that's Ian Fraser.
Ian
Not a
Fraser.
back marker.
Not a back
He was
marker,
actually
it's-
pole position man in the Mini Libra in a brand new car, but it's a shame to see him pulling off. It's a brand new car though.
Yeah, and through goes Rupert Deef into the lead with Andrew Jordan tucking into second there. And we've got 1 minute 52 on the clock, so I think we'll manage to get in about 2 more laps. So
So they just holding back now as we've got 1:45 to go. So
Yeah,
as you
two more
say,
laps, so
penultimate lap
this
coming up.
This next lap will be the penultimate.
Now, if you think it's quite a high attrition rate of cars pulling off, these cars are essentially one step away from blowing up at all times,
Yeah.
aren't they? These are angry little engines.
Yeah.
They do not want to be pulling 8,500, 9,000 RPM, but
No.
somehow they do weekend after weekend.
Oh, it's 60 years of development. They've been around for so long now. They've just got developed and developed and developed. And
Absolutely. It's incremental gains, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even between races, and these cars will be stripped down
we've just
every...
seen Kane Aston put in the fastest lap of the race. So after that knockoff from Jeff Smith earlier, he's obviously nothing wrong with the car, and he's managed to get back going. And
Quite often when you have a tangle like that, it will knock the tracking out, but no, they seem to be absolutely flying. As the two switching cars there lead the field with Aaron hanging back. It's got to be said. I think
he's
he's
a change of lead for over a minute now. This is getting boring.
No. They're waiting. You know full well that they're waiting for this last lap. As
yeah, they are. They're in the
now,
slipstream.
can Dan Lewis come through and win the race overall? That would be a turn up for the books.
As Andrew Jordan pulls out there, blocking Aaron Smith. Just looks like he might be helping out Rupert now, as he's not pushing quite hard enough to get past Rupert, but he's just holding back enough to block Aaron. Looks like, definitely I'd say they're now working together as they come towards the latter stages of the race. It looks like Andrew Jordan there is doing his Swift-Tune teammate a big favour as they're coming out onto the last lap now. As they come out of this corner,
So we've got 15 seconds to go, so it won't be checker flag. There's the finish line.
Yep,
we've got one more lap, so you can see.
Last lap of the race now.
You really need to get everything done by Vale and Club Corner, don't you, before you...
you're coming into Vale. I think whoever exits Vale...
Now this is it, final lap we see on the screen there. We've got Aaron Smith, who's currently second in the championship, but given drop scores, equal points with Rupert Deef, who's leading the race there.
So Aaron needs a good exit here onto the Hanger Straight and give him a good run out of the corner onto Hanger Straight. So can he get a run down into Stowe and take the lead?
I think
looks like Rupert's run a bit wide there.
He has run wide.
Rupert's extremely compromised.
Now this is Aaron's chance.
Leading by the end of this straight.
Put the pressure on that bright pink car coming down behind as Andrew Jordan
pulled to the inside, and through comes Aaron as well. As it looks like Rupert's bonnet's cocked up a bit there.
A little bit of contact earlier in race.
Yeah.
So
and through comes Aaron into second place.
Aaron is through. So can he hold off Rupert?
As Rupert's hanging it on around the outside, and Rupert runs just slightly wide, and it looks like Aaron's through into second place.
Advantage Aaron. Now, Dan Lewis in there, but Dan Lewis obviously doesn't score points for this race. So this is it. Final corner. Andrew Jordan's been biding his time there, holding back. Is he going to hold back Aaron to help out Rupert? No, he's gone. He's just going for the victory. And
on the final
who can blame him?
Races, Andrew
there
Jordan
you go.
Take the win.
Mega. So advantage in terms of championship then to
advantage Aaron Smith.
Aaron Smith as he flashes his lights, but it's close.
It's very close.
And the best thing about that, we're going to do it all again tomorrow.
Yep, all to play for on the final day of the season. What more could you ask for?
As Darren Cox comes through.
In it.
So that's
With
very
fastest lap of the race going to Kane Aston, so that won't affect the overall championship.
Kane Aston just coming through. Yeah, he's shot there with the bright yellow car. So
yeah.
As you say, that doesn't. You get an extra point for fastest lap.
Extra point for fastest lap, so Kane will get the extra point there, but it won't go to Aaron or Rupert, crucially. So, advantage Aaron Smith going into the final day of the season.
So, mega race from Andrew Jordan, former touring car champion. But you'd never expect anything less. The level of prep on that car is simply incredible.
Stunning car, yeah.
And never under pressure there, really.
No, he looked. Nobody really looked in control of that.
No, there was no way I was going to...
Started off as an 8-car battle. It ended up being a 3-car battle, but what a race. Shame for Ashley Davis. I think that'll be one of the big footnotes. I mean, great to see Ashley going so well this time of season, ready for next season to give it a proper go.
Aaron celebrates. He knows what's happened there. He's got now 1 point advantage.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing there, Spencer, is that we now reverse the grid for the next race tomorrow.
Yep, so Kane Aston on pole tomorrow. Fastest lap of the race today, and he'll be on pole tomorrow. So
he'll be fired up, ready to go.
Yeah.
But as you've seen, it could be anyone in the top 10. I mean, Jeff Smith came through in 5th place there. Should we run through the results?
Yeah, let's go for it.
So we got first place Andrew Jordan, Aaron Smith, Rupert Deeth, so the 2 championship contenders there. Dan Lewis, who's in a class of his own, in a class of his own. Jeff Smith, Phil Bullen-Brown, Darren Cox, Kane Aston, Larry Waugh, and Sean King.
And so Larry Waugh will actually take pole tomorrow as the Libras won't.
So we've got Colin Peacock, Hugh Turner in the Mini Libra there, second place Mini Libra. Josh Evans has got a brand new car out this weekend. He'll be delighted with that. Mark Sims, long-time Mini Miglia racer. Phil Harvey, in the Mini Libra. There's 5-port Mini Libra. Les Stanton, who is in second place in the Libra Championship now. Peter Hill, 16 valve. Gareth Baldwin, who we saw pull off earlier, but he must have got back on the track. And then 2 non-finishers, Ian Fraser and Ashley Davis. But I'm sure, consolation for Ian Fraser. Last page. So we've got Julian Proctor there and Peter Harris and Darren Mason. So those guys unfortunately didn't finish the race. But so Julian Proctor is one of our Mini 7 drivers, and he's actually been lent that car this weekend.
Great to see Julian out there in the Miglia.
Yeah, nice touch. He was grinning from ear to ear after qualifying.
Yeah, I think he's loving it.
So that's it for our first race. Hope you enjoyed that. If you're used to watching the Caterhams, it's I hope you agree it's equally as thrilling. Lots of overtaking. And thanks, Spencer. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thank you, Stephen.
We are ahead of schedule here, so we've got the Mini 7s coming up after the next Caterham event. So keep watching, and we'll bring you some more for the 1 litre class later on today.
Hello, welcome back to Silverstone and the international circuit for the grand final of the Caterham Motorsport season for the Academy and for Road Sports. We've already had a Road Sport race today, but we are starting now with the Academy. 2 races for you. 20 minutes, and we're starting with the Caterham Academy White group. Sam is with us as well, and hi Sam, and it's going right down to the wire, this Caterham White group championship. Couldn't be more closely balanced.
Yes, good afternoon everyone. It's a lovely and sunny still at Silverstone, which is great. We did have a quick rain shower before the Road Sport race, but it's looking nice and dry for the afternoon, which is great. So yes, looking forward to the next Academy race, which will be very exciting and close on the championship points. So yes, what do you think, Chris? Who's your money on for this, winning this championship?
So Tom McEwen comes into this weekend 2 points clear on drop scores over Matt Larby, who's on 130, and then we have Ben Timmons on 129, so just 1 point behind him. So it's 3 points on the drop scores across those top 3. It really is tight, and it really will depend on who wins it. Tom has the benefit of those couple of points, which means it's an advantage him, and if he wins today, then that's all he needs to do. So, you know, it's simple as that. If he wins, no one else can take it away from him, but if he doesn't win, then it's still open for the other two to fight it out.
So it's all to play for still. I wonder how their nerves are holding up.
Yeah, I've been through this all myself at a very wet and blustery Silverstone back in 2013, and yeah, the nerves definitely do start building as we, you know, come up to the tail end of this. Well, in fact, the very final race of this season, and 20 minutes to decide it. Definitely, they will be feeling the nerves, and yeah, definitely out there, and quite windy out there. You can see they're getting blown around a little bit, so that's going to have effect today as well.
Yes, it's definitely, the wind keeps picking up actually, especially in the pit lane here. So it's slightly calmer around the other side of the garages actually. So we're in probably the coldest, windiest spot right here. But yes, it's quite a pleasant afternoon, so it's fine. But yes, Chris, obviously you know, like you say, but you've done this before. You know, these guys now in their final race of the year, they've learned so much this year. They would, if they look back at how they were at the beginning of the year, they've obviously gained so much more experience. They've learned so much more car craft and more race craft. How did you find you were on your final race of the season? Yeah, you definitely feel like you've been on that whole journey, because I mean, ultimately you have. So, you know, yeah, it feels exciting to be into that final end, especially when you're still involved. And it's very much been these top 3 who are fully involved in that championship, and they'll, you know, be proud of their, you know, their season so far. But they know that they've still got a bit to do, and coming in is never, you know, relaxed. We will see in the other Academy group that actually Roger Patke's actually got it all sewn up before the final round. But these 3 are definitely going to see feeling that, and yeah, you definitely do learn, and you know, as the season goes on. And just quickly, I can interject and say I've got some. We're obviously trying to follow the Spa event. So as well as here at Silverstone, we are also at Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium for the 270s, 310s, and the 420, the Caterham 7 Championship UK. And in that first race, it was taken by, let me just get my screen up. So Thompson took the lead, another win, so great for Lewis Thompson, but Heaton was second and Head was third. And ultimately that means that provisionally at least, Head has won that 420R championship, the Caterham 7 champion. He is British Caterham champion for 2022. Obviously all provisional until all the final results come in. Heaton is also guaranteed that second, but it's still really open for the third place. So it's great to be able to bring you those results and say what a season Head's had as well. And he's obviously not new to this like these Academy drivers. Yes, he's very experienced in those cars, isn't he? But then it was his first season in that car on slicks, so still some learning for him to do.
Yeah, and strapping the slicks onto this 7 Championship UK car, it really did convert that car into, you know, an absolutely brilliant car to drive. But it was something to learn for everybody, and yeah, so definitely Head coming away with that so far. And they've still got 2 more races to go, and we'll bring you those results as we pick them up. And the 310s and 270s are currently out on track over there, so we will bring you those results a little bit later on. But yeah, we should focus in on this Caterham White Group Championship, and like so we've already sort of covered off who the main championships, and a little bit behind. I think there's a very, very slight chance Ryan Wilby could take one of the championship podium positions. He might get 3rd place, but it involves things going against Matt Larby. Matt Larby would have to finish lower down than 18th, and I don't think we've seen that this year yet. So he's looking fairly solid for that top 3. I don't know if have you seen any of those drivers today yet, or have you not managed to cross paths?
Not yet, no. They are. I was talking to the Roadsport drivers after that race. So I was having a chat with Jeff and Paul Woodman. So yes, it was. Paul was saying about his tyre blowout after that first race. It happened after the checkered flag, and it was a massive blowout. He's got a massive hole in the side of his tyre, which is, I think, with these rear wing was rubbing on the rear tyre.
We saw him drop down in the order. He was running in sort of that 5th place for a bit, and we saw him drop down the order. I wondered what that was. So clearly contact there meant that his wing was rubbing on the tyre, and then it popped. So yeah, interesting to fill us in on that. That would have been interesting, I'm sure, and at least it went on the cool-down lap rather than in the race. Yes.
Definitely, because he said he went past the checkered flag and he was, thanking the marshals as he drove past, and all of a sudden, it suddenly went sideways, and yes, it was quite a big blowout for him. Quite a shock.
Yeah, we can see the marshals getting ready to receive cars out there on the start grid, and that will be the start of the race for this White Group Championship. So 8 rounds, and they're going to drop 2 of their scores, but such as the, McEwing and Larby have really, and Ben Timmins, they've taken all these wins. So McEwing has taken 2 wins, Larby's taken a couple of wins, and sorry, I think McEwing's got 3 wins actually, and that's what puts him those 2 points clear, because Larby's got 2 and Ben Timmins also 2. We really haven't been able to separate them all year. Timmins had a bit of bad luck. He was taken. He had an accident with Duncan Mallet last time out, which has sort of put him lower down on the overall scores. But as soon as you're taking those drop scores into account, like we must at this stage of the championship, it puts him right back up there. So I don't know if you have a favourite between them. So McEwen, Larby, and Timmins. So I've called Tom, but that's the easy shout, isn't it?
Yes, probably. Ben's looked really strong this second half of the season, I think. He's always been up there anyway, but he's, I think, looking a little bit stronger. So I can't really call it, but I think we'd be, he could have a good chance.
That's a fair shout, because Ben Timmins, in the last 4 rounds, effectively, he's taken 2 of the wins and a 2nd place. And had he not been taken out of Knock Hill, who knows? He was looking good in that race as well. So you're right, he's come strong right at the end of this season. And where do they start? So let me have a look at the grid now. So it's Timmins in 2nd place alongside Duncan Mallet. So again, that Ben Timmins just ahead of Tom McEwing, and then Matt Larby starts in 6th. Qualifying's not the be-all end-all here at Silverstone. We saw how much overtaking there was in Roadsport, and we'll see that again. Here are the cars coming round to the grid. One of the cars locking up there. But yeah, so qualifying's not the be-all and end-all, but it's still important. I'm sure that Matt Larby wouldn't want to be starting in 6th.
No, but like you said, I think it will. We had a chat about it earlier, didn't we? And I think it will sort itself out, and he will move naturally towards the front of the grid, because he is very consistent. He knows the car inside out. He's very good with that car, so he could make his way to the front quite quickly. I hope.
Yeah, well, I mean, we are soon to find out, because they are we can see all the cars heading around this link and out onto the Hangar Straight, and that's on this international circuit this weekend here at Silverstone. So 3 kilometres, 1.8 miles around this track, and they are not long before they get onto that. So it really is get everything ready, and we shall get this racing underway. The 2nd race here with Caterham, so the Academy, and I'd say McEwing in that 3rd place off of the grid. And I think it's hard. He's definitely got the benefit going into this final round, and therefore it's 2 points is quite a nice, comfortable margin, believe it or not. Given that each position is only worth 1, but I think the others, again, we're going to be looking for that fastest lap. That could become crucial.
It will. It will definitely be crucial. It's great to get a point for that, I think, because it just helps in the championship. It helps, and also if it's just somebody that's further down the grid, if they get fastest lap, it boosts them. It makes them feel that they're actually doing really well.
Yeah. And yeah, and here around Silverstone, yeah, with those long straights. Thanks, Sam. We're going to run down the order now briefly as we're seeing the cars getting lined up. So starting on there,
We'll
Duncan
Mallet.
Yes, on the other side. Duncan Mallet is on that pole position. You can see him on the right, number 4 car, alongside Ben Timmins in the purple car, the first of our championship contenders. Then we've got Thomas McEwen in the green car. So these call out of colours are going to be important as we go through. Ed Cozy is alongside him in the dark coloured car as we get that front on shot. So behind him we've got Nick Bryant. Then it's Matt Larby, Oliver Kimblewhite, they've got Lionel Tolmarsh, Sol Rogers, Robert Kennelly, Ryan Wilby, Tony Jenner, Richard Harris, Robert Lowe, John Littlejohn, Charles Hazelwood, and we've got Nicholas Thompson, Fitzgerald, McCullough, Proctor and Jarvis. Again, we can see them coming up to just about line up there on their grid. The marshals all there. First chance for us to say thank you very much to all the marshals this weekend as we get our second Caterham action underway. This is the Caterham Academy White Group, and this will be their championship decider round. Who is going to bring it home for the first their 20-minute race? We'll talk about a race they've got tomorrow, the Caterham Trophy. But we've got the green flag meanwhile. So can Tom McEwen convert that coming in here as the the leader? Can he convert that into a championship? We are about to find out. The red lights are on, and watch for them to go out. We are underway with the Caterham Academy action. A little bit of a sluggish start there from Cozy as he went up off the line. Missed maybe a potential misgear. Timmins making a best start of that into the lead, ahead of McEwen in second place. Mallett's drifted to third in these opening stages as the rest of the field file on through Abbey Corner. It can be complicated. There's lots of, it's a fast corner, even in these academy cars. This is the first step of the McEwen's down the inside there of, looks like that's Matt Larby. So immediately our two championship headers there, the green car and the blue car, side by side as they head through Link and then looking down. So off the line there, Matt Larby making a good start, but Timmins making the best start, and he is now ahead of Duncan Mallet in that second place. So here they come down the straight then. That is Ben Timmins in the purple machine ahead of Duncan Mallet, who was the pole sitter. He's made it back up into second after drifting to fourth. We got McEwen side by side with Matt Larby. You can see McEwen in the green machine and Larby behind him, and then it looks like Cozy in the number 3 car as well there. So the number 4 of Duncan Mallet takes that lead going through Stowe this time. Remember, he is not involved in this championship at this stage of the race, but he is fully ensconced in this lead battle, and it is those 3 lead championship rivals who are running nose to tail behind him. So the number 4 leads everyone as they coming round to complete that first lap. A little bit wide out there for Duncan Mallet. Going to have to be a little bit careful of track limits as the race goes on. But they're heading over the line to complete the first lap of their 20-minute race. The sun glinting off these cars now as they come up here in this autumnal weather. It looks like Timmins looking round the outside as we've got battles 2 or 3 wide as they come up in the tail end of the field as they're flowing on through. And that was the number 14 car. So just battle for the lead, though. Let's get back to that because Mallet is in front. He had to take a slightly wide line, a compromised line, and he's actually lost the place there to Timmins. Still side by side. Have Matt Larby and McEwen been anything but side by side? They're going to sort it out. McEwen's currently ahead of Larby in the 3rd and 4th places. A little bit there is Cozy in the number 3 car coming down the hanger straight then. Move on for the lead. Ben Timmins cannot shake Mallet, and they had a coming together at Knockhill last time out, so they'll be keen not to have that happen again. You can see Torpedo written on the front of Mallet's car. A little bit of potential wheel contact there as they went round Stowe that time. Remember, it's about a 70-mile-an-hour corner in these kind of dry conditions we got here in these cool air. The cars will be loving that. A bit of a headwind as they head into Stowe this time through, though. McEwen looking on the outside. Can he do anything? It's a right car park, isn't it? Side by side there, Mallet's gone a little bit wide, and McEwen and Larby look like they're going to try and make benefit, put him back. And in fact, he looked like he might have missed a gear. We got really tight there into the final corner. That gets extremely tight, extremely quickly. Well done, all our drivers. Remember, they are all in their first season of racing, although we are at the tail end of the season, so they've all come on leaps and bounds since that opening round. Still got side by side between Mallet there and the number 28, it looks like, of Bryant as they headed round Abbey and into Farm. We've got one car well out wide. Who's that? Maybe that's one of the cars that was side by side as we went through. He's coming back across the grass. Can he get it stopped? It looks like it. We've got to spin a little bit further up, though. Car, so a little contact, so we may well have a car immobile in the track. I hope that everyone will be able to get through and navigate. But that car, there was significant contact there, so I think I wouldn't be surprised to see a safety car. Let's keep an eye out for that then as they head on through. down the hanger straight, so keep an eye out on Marshall's post to see whether we get any of those. But Timmins, meanwhile, is well out in front. Matt Larby and Tom McEwing remain side by side as they head through Stowe this time. We've got Bryant just behind him, and there is Duncan Mallett, who's drifted down to 6th place for the time being, but he's obviously got the speed. He was on pole position, so he was doing. See the Marshals having to move out there. Is that the Cozzy car? I'm wondering who that is that we've seen there. Certainly not happy with the result there. Car struck and stranded in the middle of the circuit, so expect to see that. It is Cozzy in the number 3 car, so that's not the first time he's had a damaged car. I think we saw that earlier in the season where he had to fit it back. You have got a safety car, I can see on my timing screen. Hopefully everyone will see and pick that up, because it's not always easy when you're racing side by side, nose to tail. We can see that there is that safety car. We've got the Mustang safety car out that we talked about earlier in the year, the British Motor Show Cinch sponsored Mustang. There is Cozzy. He'll get told by the marshals where they would like him to go. He's a little bit of remonstration there with drivers not happy with someone out there. As we see the field flowing through, and as they cross the line then, so it's Timmins crossed that line in the lead as they are under safety car. Larby is up into 2nd place. Bryant crossed the line in 3rd. You can see Bryant there in that darker blue car, and he is now ahead of McEwing, who finds himself in 4th place, having lost 2 places on that last lap through. Obviously, they will snatch that car out of the way, and with a 20-minute race, this can take a chunk away from it. They look like the car is mobile enough that they can actually manoeuvre that car, so hopefully it won't be too long before we get action underway again. But with this fairly sizable track, they are going to have to load that car away, so it will take a little while to get this sorted out, and all that's going to help at the moment. Well, in fact, it's hard to tell. What I'll do in the background, if I get an opportunity while still talking to you through the action, I will try and type in the numbers into my spreadsheet so we can get an updated view as they are going around. But yes, as I say, it's all going to come down to fastest lap. At the moment, Larby holds that fastest lap with a 1:20.390. So that is a great time for Academy. Let me just check the Academy. I got this wrong in the Roadsport earlier, but the Academy lap record is a 1:20.449. So that does exceed already the lap record for the Academy, unless I'm going to ask myself twice whether that's the case, but it certainly looks like that at the moment. Larby taking that at the moment, and that's the extra point. Don't forget that gives him. So that will all get plugged in, and we'll work out what the ramifications are. But Bryant, yeah, moving up into that 3rd place. What a great start for him. He was off the line well and sticking around into that 3rd place. So Ben Timmins leads them again behind that safety car over the line. Matt Larby is in that 2nd place with the fastest lap of the race, and then Tom McEwing is down in that 4th place. And overall, currently, would you believe it, that means that the top 3 are absolutely level with 154 points apiece if they finished in this order. So therefore, it all come down to tiebreakers. Let's hope that they don't finish in this order if I need an easy day today. But currently, in the positions they are all in now, they are all currently on 154 points. I do believe that gives Tom McEwing the edge at the moment, because he comes in here with most wins and 2nd places. So we'll keep an eye out for that and work it out as we go through. But Matt Larby in that 2nd place with the fastest lap, which makes everyone even on 154 points. So honours even, and we're coming up to that sort of, it looks like we'll be restarting with about half of this race to go, so still plenty of time for those cars. So we see that low loader in the background there coming through. So yeah, the nerves will be jingling for all these drivers out front. They're underway now. They're going to have to sort of settle into this race a little bit and find out where they stand. They've clearly all got the pace. Matt Larby moving all the way up from 6th place on the starting grid up into 2nd, so he's on a charge. He knows what he needs to do today. But yeah, right now, absolutely honours even for those all those championship positions. And Duncan Mallett, we saw him sort of figuring early. He's slipped down to 5th at this stage after, I don't know if it was a misgear or some other, just not getting the car up to speed properly, but that sort of concertinaed everyone up, allowed Ben Timmins to sort of fire himself off into the lead, and then it was all brought back together now, though. Still got the lights on the safety car on, so we aren't going to see them restart, but we have got that car clear, so I would expect to see those lights of the safety car going off as we head down Hanger Straight this time. That's normally where the lights go out, so they'll have this as a lap behind the safety car, and we'd expect to see all those drivers sort of close up as we approach the end of it. You can see them coming up here, up the Hamilton Straight. Ben Timmins there just weaving gently. Normally that's just for something to do, but also to make sure your tyres are clean. Obviously everything cools off here, and if I was in the car, I'd want to be making sure that the tyres were clean, so by doing a little bit of weaving and also making sure those brakes are ready to go when we get to the first turn. And the Academy car, it might actually be flat out today in the as they turn into Village and into Abbey and then through Farm Curve, but Village will be their first stop, and we may well see some lockups as brakes have cooled off. You can see that 10 minutes 40, so by the time they get back to that start-finish line, it does indeed look like we'll have half of this race still to go. So I'm expecting to see those lights go out. Ben Timmins will then become the erstwhile safety car driver as he takes over responsibility for managing that. The lights are indeed off in the safety car, so that safety car will disappear off down the road, and Ben Timmins will now make his mind up. When does he go? He can't go soon. The safety car will get in his way. He can't overtake that safety car, but he has got the decision to make now as to when does he choose to make it, put his hammer down. Bit of a break there in the front four. The others are a little bit snoozy there and not keeping those gaps tight. You normally expect everyone to be absolutely nose to tail. That's something they can still work on. But it doesn't look like Ben Timmins has gone just yet. He's leaving it fairly late. Matt Larby there on his tail. And again, we've got Bryant there and then McEwing all looking like they're ready to go already as they come round then to start their next lap just over halfway through this race. Safety car is now in and out of the way. Timmins puts his foot down and off he goes then. He's got a little bit of a run over Matt Larby. That's going to give Larby a really nice tow though going up into Abbey. That's as long as he doesn't have to deal with Bryant, who had an exit there that I think he probably will be starting to close up as they head into it. But at the moment it is the Timmins car that maintains that. Here's Richard Harris just chasing down Kennelly in the number 14. They head on then through this link section and down into what will be Beckett's and then onto Hanger Straight. Timmins leads, Larby leads Bryant, and then it's McEwing, then Mallet in the number 4 car. And behind him we've got Tolmarsh as well involved in that. How is this championship going to sort itself out? Remember, if everything stays on as even at the moment, then it will be absolutely 154 points apiece. So then it'll be a matter of the tiebreaker and working out exactly what's going on there. Timmins currently leading. Looked a couple of times like he's got the pace on everyone today, and I know speaking to Matt Larby a little bit earlier on, Timmins certainly has the pace this weekend. Larby looking round the outside of Stowe. That can work in a Caterham. So he's got the outside line, slight overlap there, and he's going to pinch in. That turns into the inside, of course, for the left-hander at Vale as they come down the hill. Larby looks like he has got a bit of an overlap, but Timmins can take the lead as they come in there. Matt Larby does get the car down the inside. McEwing overtakes Bryant at the same time, although Bryant's still got the overlap, and no, he had to bail out of that. So McEwing does sit in that 3rd place. Looking now at the back of Timmins, and there's Matt Larby now out front. And remember, with that lap record, fastest lap, but he is certainly not clear out front, and Timmins is going to be able to pull alongside. Had to pull alongside quite early, so he's not going to get a massive slingshot. Larby's going to try and hang on, is he? No, he's going to slip into that 2nd place again. But remember, he went across that line in the lead, and that's something to take into account. Even though we'll see lots of overtaking around this track, it's actually where you cross that finishing line. Duncan Mallet was right on the edge of his braking zone there again. He's around the outside of Tom McEwing, and it looks like the blue car of Bryant has drifted back a little bit there, hasn't he? He's off that. He was in that 3rd place, and now he's down to 5th place as we currently look at it. With the number 22 of Tolmarsh, and then I think it's Rogers maybe behind them. Yes, in 65 car, so it is Rogers behind. They head on down then the Hanger Straight, famous straight in Formula One. All these drivers will watch their heroes as we're going to go 3 wide, 4 wide into Stowe. We've got Duncan Mallet on the outside. We've got McEwing and Larby side by side. Timmins comes out in front, and Bryant is going to try and join in the fun. Richard Harris drifts off very wide on the exit there. Timmins somehow still in front, but McEwing now up into that 2nd place, which I think will pull him clear in the championship. In fact, he goes all the way around the outside of Vale, slingshots himself into 1st, puts Timmins down to 2nd, and Larby's behind Bryant again, and onto the greenery out there, which is going to put Mallet alongside him. That's going to get very tight through club, but they do make it out there side by side. That was an uncomfortable place. I've been there and I made contact with cars around there before. It's very little room. Larby does maintain that 4th place. Timmins makes it back into the lead as they head up into Abbey this time through. But yeah, it's all starting to kick off. We've got 6 minutes of this race, 6.5 minutes of this race still to go. So there's still plenty of corners between now and a victory. Bryant finds himself in that third place again, and it's still Matt Larby having to fight with Duncan Mallett in that championship battle. Timmins is making this bet as good, doing everything he can right now to put his car out in front as often as he can. But the last 2 times through, he hasn't been across the line of lead. Richard Harris again off wide onto the grass as they headed out and onto the hanger straight that time through. So Richard Harris having a few problems out there, but he's back in and in alignment with in there. We're going 4 wide once more. Why not? We tried it last time. It worked out. So Bryant there very late on the brakes as he went in. McEwing tucks it to the inside. So does Timmins, and they hold it there. Matt Larby's got nowhere to go. He's got a wall of Caterhams in front of him, but he needs to make some movement forward. Remember, he needs to move forward to have his championship chances maintained. 3 wide into the Vale, then that can get again very tight. It looks like Mallett around the outside, tight on the inside. Bryant finds himself into second. This really is moving at every single corner, every single lap, side by side once more as we go through club and up to the start finish straight with 5 minutes of this race to go. All that jinking and jiving behind has moved Tom McEwing clear. Remember, he only needs to win this race to be guaranteed that championship, and at the moment that puts him in that championship winning position. I don't think we're going to know and be able to call this championship until the very last lap. Judging by what's going on here, we've got Sol Rogers also coming into involved. It's a white car with the yellow machinery. He's somehow come all the way through in that 65 machine. So I called his number wrong last time. It was Sol Rogers into that in that white machine. He's now moved himself right up into that 4th place, and in fact ahead of Timmins, who was lost out through all that manoeuvring, and we've seen sort of fortunes turn around there in that last minute or so of racing, and now it's finding McEwing pinged off the front, but ahead of Bryant in that 2nd place, coming good at the tail end of this season. And then we got Torpedo Duncan Mallett in that 3rd place, and then comes Larby behind him. So at the moment, McEwing doing everything he needs to do to solidify that top spot in the championship, but he is not clear. He has not gone down the road yet, has he? He's still got Bryant for company, who's tucked on the inside. More of a defensive manoeuvre against any movement from Duncan Mallett there in the number 4 car. Remember, our pole sitter. So clearly got the speed side by side this time for Larby and Timmins as they head round club. Larby has to give away that position, so he is going to follow Timmins through. And in their battle, if this finished like it was now, I think this therefore moves Timmins clear of Larby. They are fighting for 2nd in this championship, and that's roughly speaking, whoever finishes ahead of those 2 will get that 2nd. Number 18 just getting back up to speed after having been off the track. That's Thompson in the number 18 car. So Mallett, we can talk about. Yeah, so if whoever comes out ahead of that Larby and Timmins currently will be the one, I think, that takes the 2nd place. And that's roughly what we're working with. But it does look like with 3.5 minutes to go, things change quite quick, don't they? But McEwing has been out front with a little bit of a comfort gap for the last couple of races. And with Mallett now looking down the inside of Bryant and the rest of the championship contenders behind those 3, not even on the podium, as Timmins now looks like he is going to make it back onto that podium. They're going to go 3 wide into Stowe. In fact, he might do the 2 places in one corner. He does. He dives down the inside there, absolutely flung his car down. It's stuck and gripped, and he now finds himself in that 2nd place. Larby still holds that fastest lap currently, and I think Timmins needs that fastest lap if he intends to win this championship. Remember, he can still win it, but it does involve him overtaking McEwing, getting the fastest lap, and also McEwing drifting, I think, to 3rd place. So currently, the advantage is still with Tom McEwing as they head up the Hamilton Straight once more. McEwing holding that advantage, but it's looking less of an advantage this time through, isn't it, with Timmins right on his tail. Matt Larby is still in that 5th. Another car coming back up to speed. That is, we're watching Robert Lowe on screen, and Robert Lowe was the one that spun back up to speed now, and he's got Wilby, who's right down the order. Wilby came in with a chance of finishing 3rd in this championship, but he's right down the order now, so that's pushed him well out of the battle. So guaranteed at the moment, if everything finishes the way it is now, between Timmins, McEwing, and Larby. Ben Timmins takes that fastest lap then with a 1:19.0. So that throws the cat amongst the pigeons once more, because if he can take the win, get the fastest lap, and McEwing finishes in 3rd, and he now finds himself in 2nd, looking like he might even be down in 4th, that could throw it in Timmins' advantage direction. At the moment, Matt Larby, with only a couple of minutes left, is on the rear of this pack. There's an awful lot of Caterhams to try and overtake in a relatively short space of time. What are we looking at? Maybe a couple more laps. So finish this one, then we'll have maybe a couple more laps, depending on when they cross the line. So it is McEwing still finds himself out in front of Timmins in second place. It's Bryant, looks like the inside of him and Mallet, but Mallet's holding on around the outside and think we'll cross the line that time through. In third place he does, Bryant in fourth. Sol Rogers there we see tracing on, but here comes Matt Larby looking up the inside then. He knows he's got that. I didn't see what time they came across the line. I imagine they've got this one and the next one to go, but it's going to be pretty tight. Another spinner there for the number 66 car, and that is Kimblewhite there recovering his car. So Ben Timmins out front then with that fastest lap, more crucially, and getting that tow from fourth place meant that he got that fastest lap. And yeah, so this is going to be absolutely crucial in the championship. And currently, if it happens, they would be honest even between Timmins and McEwing. Sol Rogers is off wide, so that moves him out of that battle. Doesn't look like he's going to be taking part in it. But if everything finished with in this position with Ben Timmins in the fastest lap, that will be even points between himself and Tom McEwing. But it looks like Duncan Mallett's got something to say about that. McEwing squeezing Timmins there into the inside, not giving him any sort of, not opening the line up at all, and seeing whether that can translate into the inside line then for the Vale corner as they're coming up to it. It's three wide, Mallet on the outside. We've got McEwing down the inside. Timmins is in the middle of that. Mallet sort of outbraked himself slightly. McEwing is squeezing Timmins again, and Timmins look like he's not got any momentum coming out of that. There's going to be McEwing as they come round this corner. They've got 7 seconds there. That's awfully close. Bryant is going to go to the outside. He's got the checkered flag. So that was McEwing crossing the line first over that checkered flag. That would give him the championship. So it was tight over the line. That was the final corner of the final lap. I thought we may have had one more, but it was actually a crucial manoeuvring that, because Timmins did get that fastest lap. McEwing took the win though, and we said that beforehand, if he wins, he takes that championship. I will plug in those numbers into my spreadsheet just to make sure. That was a crucial pass right at the end of that race there, and it was McEwing who took it over the line ahead of Timmins, who got the fastest lap, and then it was and then finishing third was Bryant. So what a great result for Bryant there, coming home over the line third. Matt Larby coming in fourth place. And so that, if everything is, this is all provisional, but that gives me Tom McEwing taking the Caterham White Caterham and White Academy Group championship this season for 2022. Let me say that again. Tom McEwing is the Caterham Academy White Group champion for 2022. If everything provisional right now, but looks like Ben Timmins will take second place in that championship, and Matt Larby will take the third place. You can see all the cars coming down here side by side. It's such a tremendous thing, the Caterham Academy. There really are friends in the paddock. Getting a bit of a replay coming up in a second. But yeah, McEwing there doing everything he needed to on the last corner of the last lap of their season. What a fantastic season they've all had. And McEwing, Timmins and Larby really have done some great stuff there. You've got Mallet there fully involved in that battle, and but for some incidents he would also have been fully involved in that battle as well. But great result. Wasn't clear until that last second, and McEwing, just pipping Timmins. Timmins did everything he could to try and tip the balance, but sadly that just moves him out of the way, such a the way that drop scores works. He's now several points behind McEwing winning the final championship. So, I'm just going to double check myself in the numbers that I've pumped into my spreadsheet, and it certainly does look like that can be confirmed for the provisional result. Obviously subject to any incidents, any stewards' inquiries, all those kind of things, and other things. But Tom McEwing there pulling into that number one spot, Caterham champion for our Caterham Academy White Group of 2022. He can add himself to that list of drivers. You only get one chance to win the Academy, and he's done that there in his green car. Ben Timmins did absolutely everything he could. Matt Larby today just wasn't quite up there. He unfortunately had to miss Knockhill after he lost his father, and it was such a shame. The whole paddock were thinking of him in Knockhill, and his season's been great, and he's had a fantastic time, and he will take a championship trophy as well. But there is Ben Timmins getting himself out of the car, and there is our Academy White Group champion then. He had to win that race. He did win that race. Ben Timmins did everything but win that race, and great to see the two hug it out for final race of their season. Not the end of racing for them this weekend, though. Yeah, but Sam is down there, and it looks like the driver's getting ready. But Sam, what a what a result! What a great result!
Goodness me, what a race, and what an ending to that race. Let's grab a word with the guys. Tom, congratulations.
Thanks so much, thank you.
Final race of the year, how was it?
Yeah, intense. Although we had the safety car, it was it was a full-on race. Everyone's got so quick. Obviously, Ben was up front for a lot of it and had an incredible pace. And with the toe, it's so difficult to drop anyone. So it was full-on, and obviously went to the final corner, and it was tough racing. But I think hopefully we got respect between us, and tough but fair. And it was a hell of a race.
Excellent. So sum up your season, your first season in racing.
Amazing. It's hard to describe really. The racing's been incredible, but I know it's kind of on brand for the academy, but the relationships, the guys I've been racing with, Ben, Matt, even the rest of the grid, everyone's been so nice and welcoming and getting bloody fast, to be honest. So next year is going to be exciting for sure.
Excellent. Well, congratulations. Let you enjoy these celebrations. Right, let's go to Ben. Ben, congratulations. That was a great race to watch. A bit hairy at the end.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was, P2, not my best race result, but I think that was the best race I've had in terms of the drive. Felt really good until the safety car came out, and then it was a little bit hectic. But yeah, massive congratulations firstly to Tom as our Academy champion. So deserved, and he drove amazingly as always. So yeah, great fun.
You did get fastest lap.
Did I? Damn, I'd rather have not got that, because that was what I needed along with P1 to win the championship. But okay, yeah, that's an extra point and something to be proud of. So yeah, happy with that.
Definitely something to be proud of. And summing up the season quickly, what would you how would you sum it up?
Exhilarating, great community of people that you get to meet, expensive, but yeah, just so much fun. There's nothing quite like having that thrill of being out on track. So yeah, it's amazing. So privileged and lucky to be able to do this. So, yeah, it's great fun.
Congratulations, Ben. Well done. And Nick Bryant. Let's move along to Nick, who's just going to go and speak to his family. He doesn't know I'm walking behind him. Nick, can I grab a word with you if you don't mind? Yeah. Congratulations. Was a podium on the cards for you this afternoon?
No. I think the toe let me keep with the quick boys today, so I'm happy. What way to finish?
Oh, definitely a great way to finish the season. And have you enjoyed the season this year?
Yeah, I loved it, and finished on a high as well. Yeah,
exactly, best way. Well, congratulations. I'll let you enjoy the podium celebrations in a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, great to hear from our drivers down there. It's absolutely fantastic to see them, and they will all be heading across then to their podiums. But yeah, we've got a new Caterham Academy White Group champion, and we'll see him take his trophy in a second. Not the end of the action for today for Caterhams. We have got about a 20-minute gap before our next Caterham action. We've got the other Academy group, the Green Group, to go today. And like I said, it's not the end of their racing for this weekend either, because they will be heading out tomorrow in what we call the Caterham Autumn Trophy, and that is the in fact, let's confirm the provisional results then from that race. Thomas McEwen takes first place, Ben Timmons second, and Nick Bryant that third place. Great result for him as well. Matt Larby in that fourth place. Duncan Mallet comes home fifth. Sol Rogers sixth. Little John Harris, Tolmarsh, and Kenley round out that top 10. So congratulations to all those drivers. And we've Caterham Academy Autumn Trophy is a race where they combine the white and the green group all together into one grid, and they will be out tomorrow all racing together. It's an optional race. It's not for the championship, it's purely for honours. And it's the first time we get to see the green and white group competing all together out on circuit. So that's going to be great to watch and very exciting indeed. So yes, that's all for tomorrow. But yeah, we've still got Caterham Academy Green Group. We've already crowned the champion, and Patke took that championship. He's not going to be racing with us in the race today, but he'll be out there with tomorrow. So we're just getting a sort of for the last race, P3 is being investigated just because they were crossing the line out into the gravel. And that would change things slightly in that, but Matt Larby would get an extra point. It doesn't change the championship order if Matt Larby is promoted at that point, though. So it doesn't change things on that front. But nevertheless, we'll see when we report back on that one. And I guess that's why we're just waiting to see what the situation is with the podium. You can see We were using that podium before. We're going to be heading into Parc Fermé, I think, for the follow-on podiums. But yeah, the Academy Autumn Trophy, always a great one, always a bit of bragging rights as to which group can take home the Autumn Trophy, and that's all to look forward to tomorrow, alongside 2 other road sport races, of course. They've got their 3 races this weekend, and we saw a great race for them earlier with Charlie Lower taking Newman and Chiddix. And we are also keeping across the results that are happening over in Spa with the other championships, and we will get the results hopefully after the next Academy race. We'll bring you what's happening in the set 217 and 310, but provisionally in the Caterham 7 Championship UK, Aaron Head has taken that championship, and Henry Heaton is taken the 2nd place in that championship. But we will confirm those kind of results as we go on through. So yeah, Sam, it was great to hear from our drivers in Parc Fermé there, and yeah, they, you know, the camaraderie is great. I love it.
Oh, I mean, do you know what? Talking to these guys afterwards, there's such a great atmosphere here. You know, they've all learned so much. They've all enjoyed the experience together because they're all in exactly the same situation. And that's what Tom said about, you know, when I asked him to sum up the year. And he said it's just everyone, they're just like a big family, aren't they? It's lovely.
And you can see it here with all the kids in there with their, you know, dads and you know, other family members, and everyone around watching and chatting away. They've all got their stories, regardless of where they finished today and whether they were in that championship hunt or not. Everyone's got their stories to take home.
Exactly. They'll all have lots to tell from this weekend and the season. And by the sounds of it, Tom will be moving on to next year. Maybe into road sport, so that's good to know. And then obviously he'll be, you know, with probably a lot of the same drivers, because that's, you know, the natural path for them to move on to, which will be great because they've all got used to each other's driving styles now.
Yeah, they've got to learn the drivers from the other academy group who will be combined with them for their road sport season next year. That's what part of the trophy race they've got tomorrow. But yeah, this is just the first step of, you know, these drivers' motorsport careers. For some of them, they just wanted to do the academy. But for a lot of these drivers, they will move on up, and we will see them out reigniting these battles in road sport.
Yes, looking forward to it already. I can't believe it's the last race of the year. It's quite sad.
I know it doesn't feel two seconds ago since we were at Brands Hatch on that opening event, and yeah, it's been a roller coaster since then. Loads of Caterham action. It's been absolutely fantastic, to the action we've had this year, and long may that continue into next year and beyond. The drivers just looking at each other's rear tyres there. That's another thing you get in Parc Fermé is, you know, everyone checking out how high were their tread blocks, what pressure were they running, all those kind of things.
Yes, I love all the atmosphere between all these guys being with each other and discussing what happened in their race and how this happened and how someone got past them, and yeah, it's just lovely to see. And the sun's now shining a lot brighter than it was, which is great. So we're just waiting to find out about the 3rd place, because I do believe he was almost in the gravel when he crossed the line. So we're just checking
the rules about looking at cars lined up. So the next action is soon to get underway. So yeah, we're going to have to wrap up now, but we will hopefully be able to bring you those podiums a little bit later on, and yeah, looking forward to bringing you that. But we're going to wrap up for here. Caterham action back with you in about 20 minutes time from now. See you then.
Right then, that was a pretty epic race there for the Caterhams, and we're back with the Mini 7. This is the original Mini 7 for the Mini 7 Racing Club. I'm joined by Spencer Wanstall here. So should be there on the grid, Spencer. You're normally out there at front runner.
Thank you. Yeah, shame not to be out there this weekend, but I'm sure this is going to be a brilliant race. Looks like we've got the green flags waving at the back there. Should be good to go any second now, because we get the 5-second board, and then it will be lights on.
So we've got 2 distinct grids here. We've got the cars with the red header sticker at the front. It's the Mini 7s, the 1 litre cars, high revving cars. and then 10 seconds afterwards, basically halfway through there, you can see the green cars at the back, the green header strips at the back. That is the Mini 7 S-Class. So 2 distinct classes, similar car, different engine.
Yeah, S standing for scholarship class. So this is sort of a bit more of an entry-level series, with the 7s being the sort of the more traditional Mini 7 as they have been for many years.
So since 1966, one of the longest one-make series, if not in Europe, in the world, I'd say.
Yeah, one of the longest. So here we go, 5-second board. So lights on any second now, and we'll be off for the penultimate round of the Mini 7 Championship 2022.
So still all to play for. We've got 2 rounds. We've got round 15 today and round 16 tomorrow as they head off the grid.
Great start by Mike Jordan and Conor O'Brien. They're the 2 championship contenders, and it looks like we've got Mike Jordan as an early leader. Can Conor follow him into second place?
So Conor and Joe Thompson there side by side into the first corner as the S-Class gets underway.
And it looked like a great start there from Mike Winkworth.
As Conor O'Brien shuffles into second place.
Yep, Conor pulled the move off around the outside by the looks of it. And we've got early leader in the S-Class is Fraser Hack with Ryan Taylor and
Michael Winkworth with
side
Matt
by
Ayres
side.
just behind. So championship still to play for at the front. We've got, actually as it happens, these 3 guys here. So we've got Mike at the front. We've got Conor O'Brien, and then we've got...
And it looks like we've had an accident on the first corner for the Mini 7s with Stephen Hopper and Graham Davis there. So I'm not sure if we'll get a safety car at the end of this lap, see if they can get it going again. But we're still racing currently.
So slipstreaming down the back straight there.
Yep.
Got Graham Davis and Stephen Hopper gone off.
Looks like
Sorry.
Graham's got it going again, but not sure about Stephen. So we might have to see some double wave yellows there.
As they're still flat out.
Yep, still on it at the moment, but we'll see if we get some flags when we get round. So coming into Vale for the first time with our leader Mike Jordan, closely followed by the 2 championship contenders Conor O'Brien and Joe Thompson.
So these cars are a little bit more lively on these cross-ply tyres.
And luckily Stephen's got it going again, so it looks like we'll get away without any flags going into the corner there.
Good stuff. Let's head down Hamilton Straight here, just past the wing at Silverstone.
We've got Mike taking an early leader. So the championship as it stands is Conor O'Brien on drop scores has a 2-point lead over Mike Jordan. So Mike really needs to get the win and the fastest lap here to reel that in, so it all goes down to tomorrow.
As you see the S-Class coming round, and we've got Damien Harrington leading the way there. So Damien currently in the lead of the championship for the Mini 7 S-Class with the green header stickers there as Matt Ayres goes for a move. That's Chris Pryor. Chris Pryor, the graphics man from Wales. As Conor O'Brien second place there.
Mike Jordan just seems to be eking out a bit of a lead here. Now, as I've mentioned earlier in Miglias, it's all important here because he'll be breaking that toe. And, you know, as with the Miglias, the toe is so important down this hanger straight. Get right up close to the car in front of you and the air just sucks you in. And looks like Connor's picked up a bit of a toe there from Mike, but he's having to defend, so he'll be compromised coming into this corner as he goes for the move. And
can he make it stick?
I think he can. It looks like he's just about pulled that off, but will he get the run coming up? And he has. He's slotted into the lead. And with a new race leader, it's Conor O'Brien taking the lead.
Now these cars touching over 9,000 RPM on the hanger straight there.
Oh, and he's just had a bit of contact there, a bit of a nudge from Mike Jordan from behind. And it looks like that's actually compromised Mike as Mike runs out wide. And we've got Joe Thompson going for the overtake to move up into second place. This isn't what Mike needs to be doing. Mike needs to crack on and get ahead.
Meanwhile, we've got Glenn Woodbridge moving in on the action.
Yeah,
and one of our new drivers on the grid is in Jonathan Lewis's former car there.
Yeah, Tom Mill's going really well for his first race weekend. He's qualified 6th on the grid, and he seems to be sticking with the front guys just at the start here.
Darren Thomas there in the second green car seems to be back on the pace again. It's good to see him back at the front. He's many times a former race winner as Joe Thompson goes a little bit wide.
Yeah, a little bit wide there from Joe, which has just let the front 2 break away a tiny
lost
bit.
ground.
You see Con just drifting it into that corner beautifully, really well driven into that corner.
But if we've seen anything from this circuit, Spencer, is that it doesn't really matter on this hanger straight.
Yeah,
top 5, they can all catch up again, can't they? So they can bunch back up as Mike Jordan goes around the outside.
Pulls out of the toe, pulls out of the slipstream, up alongside Conor. Can he slot in before we get to the end of the straight, or is he going to hang it around the outside? It looks like he's made the move already, yeah.
As they touch just over 100 miles an hour into this one.
Looks like Mike's run just slightly wide there, which has let Conor back through into the lead. Yep, Mike just compromised there where he went to the outside as he pulled out of the toe. So, and it looks like we've got a safety car.
We have got a safety car, so perhaps it's something we haven't seen on the cameras there. Maybe in the S-Class battle, perhaps.
Yeah.
So going back to the S-Class battle, here we are. We've got Arnold Duncan in the brown machine. With, Chris Pryor still leading the way.
Yeah, looks like there may be 1 or 2 missing from the S-Classes there. So
he's got the safety car ready to go.
We'll wait to see what happens there. But currently, fastest lap of the race going to Darren Thomas. So once again, great to see Darren back up there fighting with the front guys. Previous years gone by, he's been been a bridesmaid a few times in the championship. So to see him getting fastest laps and running along with the front guys is great to see.
Absolutely, he seemed a bit disheartened in previous races where he just wasn't quite on the pace that he used to have, but he's back.
Yeah, it seems like he's back.
Good to see him.
Good to see heading into next season.
Very experienced mini racer, runs the Rune Speed outlet.
So currently in the S-Class, we've got Matty Ayres in first place, Chris Pryor in second, Ryan Taylor in third, and Arnold Duncan running in fourth place.
Now, as a brief aside, as Conor O'Brien tries to bunch up the pack there, this weekend it's not only he's gone. I'll pause that. I'll come back to that in a minute. As he's got the run on Mike Jordan there, and off he goes. So Conor O'Brien trying to.
So Conor O'Brien will now be holding the pace for the restart. The race won't actually go to green flags until they get round to the main straight.
And as you see,
as Conor just starts to weave there, bringing him, he'll now control the pace. So it's all on Conor and it looks like he might have already gone, to be honest.
That's what I thought at the beginning of the hangar straight, but then he's weaving a little bit there, trying to get a bit of heat into the tyres.
Get to the start-finish line, but it does look like he's already gone.
So you do have to be a bit careful not to set a fastest sector in because you will get a bit of a slap on the wrist after the race.
He's got a great gap there if he has already gone.
Is he just controlling the pack?
No, he's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah.
So.
And away we are again, we're racing green flags. I'm not sure what the safety car was out for there. We didn't see any debris or cars on track, but we are away again.
And these cars have only got a 1 litre engine, so it's all about momentum.
Yep, and Connor's weaving across track there, probably just trying to get a bit of heat back into his tyres for the restart. And he seems to have a little bit of a gap there. I don't think he's quite broken the toe just yet.
As we've got another yellow flag.
Yeah, another yellow flag coming into the first corner.
That can quite often on a shorter circuit like this international circuit. We've got what's going on here? This must be something we've not seen here, Spencer.
Yeah.
Somebody else has fired it off into the kitty litter.
Well, we haven't seen anything on the cameras, and I haven't.
No, but these are quite small cars. They can disappear off the camera screen.
We seem to. The only people we have missing is Vanna and Graham Davis, and that they've both pulled into the pit lane. So I'm not really sure what the safety car's for here, if we're being totally honest.
So a tangent I was going to mention earlier, not only is this rounds 15 and 16 at a championship, this also makes up part of the winter series for the Mini 7 Racing Club. So we've got, we're here in March, I believe, for the for rounds 1 and 2. This is 3 and 4. And then for November the 5th and 6th, we go to Brands Hatch with Truck Festival.
Yeah.
And we've got a 3-race series there as well.
So the lights are out on the safety car. So now you would expect the safety car to be pulling in at the end of this lap. I mean, that would be normal procedure. The lights go out on the safety car goes away, goes into the pit lane, and then Conor will control the pace and take his own restart, just like in Formula 1 and etc. But the safety car doesn't seem to be disappearing.
Not just yet, but they're not quite there at the pit entry yet, are they? So
right.
It's an angry bunch of mini-shaped bees.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's been a bit of a coming together between Fraser Hack and Mike Winkworth, because they were both sort of right up there at the start of the race, but they seem to have both dropped back together.
So this is in the S-Class battle with the green cars. As the Mustang continues rounds.
Without his lights on, yeah. I'm not sure if safety car procedures is being exactly followed here, but we will see.
I'll take your Blue Book knowledge on this one, Spencer.
Yeah, well, if I was in the lead and I was Conor there, I'd be pretty confused and pretty frustrated because, everybody knows when the lights go out on the safety car's coming in. So Conor won't really know when he's controlling the pace and when he needs to get going. He's weaving there, warming his tyres up. He doesn't want to overdo it. He doesn't want to overheat his tyres.
Describe what it's like when these tyres overheat.
So if the tyres overheat, it will just feel like you're sort of going around. The way I like to describe it is that the tyres turn into a sort of mushy chewing gum almost. Mm-hmm. It just feels like everything becomes a bit more spongy.
It feels like something's broken.
Yeah.
That's why I just describe it like a suspension arm's disconnected. It feels all over the place.
Yes.
And it can happen, especially, say, down the hangar straight. We keep mentioning that, but it's quite a short circuit here, isn't it? So down the hangar straight, and then it's a very fast Stowe corner. That's really where the tyres, front left,
yeah, you're really
huge
getting
amount of
loaded
heat.
up, a lot of sliding, so obviously a lot of friction going on the circuit. So
the light's back on the safety car.
Yeah.
He's He's enjoying his day on track. You can sometimes have it with race meetings where the safety car driver won't even go out.
The only thing I can think of is when Stephen Hopper and Graham had that coming together on the first corner, there may have been some fluids leaked, got onto the track, which has then meant marshals have had to enter the circuit to sort of clear up any mess on the track. That's the only thing I can think of.
Incredible to think, some 22 years after the final Mini rolled off the production line, October 2000, with Lulu on the bonnet.
So we've got lights out on the safety car, sorry Stephen. So now this is where Connor will be able to take the restart.
Incredible to think we've still got this many cars on the grid.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, the strength is just going from strength to strength even now, all these years later.
And I think testament to the club as well.
Safety car should be pulling in this lap. And then we'll be racing again. Yep,
here we go.
Safety car's in and Connor's gone for the restart. And
What a start. That is a mega start from
Brilliant
Connor.
Safety car restart. Caught Mike napping there by the looks of it. Yeah.
Unusual.
Catch an experienced man like Mike Jordan out like that. Fair play to Connor.
I say maybe just a bit disorientated that the safety car's been going on for that long. So his only hope now, Connor, is that he can get away and break that toe.
He's got a 1.5 second leave, so you would think he's just about broken the toe, yes.
So he's out of DRS.
Yeah, he's out of DRS.
It's a very mechanical version of DRS. It's called having a car shaped like a brick.
Yeah. So can Connor take advantage of this brilliant restart he's made, or will the two Swift June boys work together and reel him in?
So Glenn Woodbridge getting a little bit held back. There's a little bit of inexperience from our newest driver on the grid there. They've gone, haven't they? They've left him, but I don't know, second or two down the road.
Looks like the new boy Tom Mills has overtook Glenn Woodbridge as well, so he's up to 4th place now. Really impressive debut from Tom.
Now, what do you think of that as a gap? Do you think they'll be able to reel that back in?
I mean, it looks like the front three have gone now. I'll be surprised if the boys behind catch him up, Angel, but you know,
Joe Polly there.
Mini racing's full of surprises, so it wouldn't surprise me if that gap closes. But
now this has been a kind of story of the season, really, Spencer, isn't it? We've got 3 cars out there at the front. We've got Mike Jordan, Conor O'Brien, and Joe Thompson. It has been those 3 that are really setting the pace throughout the season.
Yeah, those 3 have been the class of the field, but we've got a great battle developing behind here with Glenn Woodbridge, Tom Mills, Darren Thomas, and Joe Polly.
I just think these 4 are probably a little bit too far back now. They're squabbling together. Yeah. And that's going to do the front trio of wild favourites. You see the gap they've pulled out there already, these guys at the front.
The best thing for Joe now is he can forget about looking in his mirrors. He can concentrate on what's ahead of him. So
absolutely,
he can just concentrate on getting qualifying lap after qualifying lap, sticking on the back of Mike and Connor, and hoping that those two start to battle towards the end of the race. As
Mike Jordan has set the fastest lap of the race so far, and that, if things stand, it will give him an equal point standing once again with Conor O'Brien at the front.
So that will, because of the track position, that will still maintain Connor's 2-point advantage on drop scores going into tomorrow.
So there's still...
And Joe Polly there overtaking Darren Thomas. Great overtake there from her. And in the S classes, we've got a change of leader there.
As Mike Jordan goes for the lead, followed very closely by Joe Thompson just behind. He's trying to
Joe Thompson's also
follow him through.
To the inside there. Are we going to get a change of lead going into Stowe?
Yes, we are. So Mike Jordan moves up into the lead. So he's well beyond the lap record now, set here 1 year ago by Jeff Smith as 1:24.275. So he's set a 1:24.063. So I'd say in mini terms he's smashed that lap record. Yeah, conditions are perfect out there now. The sun's shining on the tarmac and it's nice cool air. So you get a bigger punch from the engine and a bit more grip from the tyres. It's kind of perfect combination.
Here we are,
down
Mike
Hamilton
Jordan
straight.
Back into the lead, Conor O'Brien hotly on the tail, and then that gaggle behind. We've got Joe Polly coming up through the order. She's absolutely flying.
As we've got 6.5 minutes on the clock, and as things stand, this is going to take us on to an absolutely thrilling race tomorrow if these two finish with Mike as the fastest lap and Conor in second place.
Yeah, so as it stands with points like this would bring them absolutely level tomorrow. And as Conor O'Brien runs off the track there, I think that might have been where we had some fluids down earlier, and that has dropped him back. He'll be out of he might just be eked out of the toenails. Joe Thompson, all out of shape coming into that corner. I don't know if they both had something on their tyres there, but both very much out of shape coming through those corners.
Conor O'Brien, the only one of these 3 who has won the championship recently, and that's the Mini 7S class that he's moved up from.
Speaking of S-Class, we've got Matty Ayres there pulling out a nice lead over Chris Pryor with Arnold Duncan in 3rd. Looks like our previous champion Mike Winkworth dropped back a bit, and he's currently sitting there in 7th.
So as this battle intensifies, it might be quite nice to have a look back at the S-Class. We can pick those up somewhere to see how they're doing. I know those guys have run a very competitive season.
Yeah, and it's all to play for there. It looks like Damien Harrington in control of the championship there, but
so Damien Harrington's just got to finish 2nd and 3rd over the weekends, regardless of where anyone else finishes, and he'll seal that title.
Currently 5th at the moment, so might have a bit more work to do tomorrow than he was hoping.
Yeah, we hope it makes it more interesting for tomorrow. We don't want it to be all over today.
No.
So so far this season, the advantage is looking like it's Conor O'Brien's way, who's in 2nd place.
Just see the S-Classes in the background.
There you go.
There's a great gaggle of them. So
weaving furiously.
Matty Ayres has got a nice lead there, but we've got Fraser Hacking 2nd and Arnold Duncan in a close 3rd. It's a great battle here. Looks like Fraser's made his way back through after dropping back earlier in the race.
Arnold assures me that's russet brown.
Yeah, that's questionable.
Amazing Leyland shade of brown there.
Yeah.
Quite distinctive.
Hope he's
So there's Darren Thomas, Joe Polly there in the midfield for the Mini 7s. Glenn Woodbridge dropped back a little bit there.
Yeah, looks like it.
As we take up the lead battle again.
So Connor's got to be thinking now, 4 minutes to go, he's got to be thinking, I've got to do something here, because as it stands, they'll go into tomorrow neck and neck. At the moment, he's got a 2-point advantage, but if it finishes as it is, his advantage will evaporate. So he's got to do something, I think.
So Mike currently holds an 8-5 win ratio, looking at the stats here. That's a lovely stat.
He pulls to the outside coming into Vale. I think he'll be lucky to get around the outside there, but he'll have a better run through this corner and then onto the start-finish line straight. So will Connor get the better exit from this corner? It looks like he's kept it neat and tidy. He's very close to the back of Mike. He'll have a great toe up here now as he looks to jink out to the left-hand side. No, he's staying in that toe nice and tight.
Now, is Joe Thompson going to come into this as the two front battle?
Out the window there.
He may have a problem. It looks like he's dropped off the pace. Yeah, Joe Thompson looks like he's pulling up. It's, the two out front have just continuous relentless pace, qualifying pace, I would say.
Yeah, and Joe doesn't look like he's pulling off, but he just looks like he's slowing down a
Something's not quite right with that white and red card there. As this battle intensifies, we've got... It really is all to play for between these two, isn't it?
Yeah.
From Mike's perspective, he has to win this to stay alive in the championship.
Absolutely on the minute there through that corner, backing it in. As we see these Mini 7s slide around as they do.
So
has Connor got the pace to slipstream not only up to the back of Mike going down this back straight, it's all very well slipstream up to the back of him. He's then got to be able to pull out of the toe and get round him and slot in before the corner.
So what we saw happen at Anglesey last
Connor thinks about it, but he just slips back in.
Rounds 13 and 14. Connor had a clear win in the rain and then kind of backed off a little bit when it was dry on the Sunday. But I think his tyres went off a little bit. So he'd be very, very cautious in this one. He's not wearing out those tyres and repeating what happened in Wales just a month ago.
And that battle behind continues to be hotting up as it looks like Lee Roberts might have a bit of it. And Joe Thompson pulls into...
And Mike Jordan's gone off.
He's off.
He's off. So where's that, Spencer? It's down... Looks like the pit lane entry there is...
Oh, wow.
Connor's gone on his own.
And
so,
well,
that's the turn up for the books. It's Joe Thompson's gone off as well. So both of those two front runners have gone off.
Which leaves Connor in the lead from Tom Mills, and I do believe that very much makes the championship.
I think that's it. Connor's going to be absolutely delighted.
Connor's just got to bring it home
2 minutes.
And then we'll do our maths at the end, but I do think that...
No, that's it. I'd say that's it, Spencer, because Mike hasn't completed every round this year, so he's going to...
Mike will have 3 drop scores will be 0-0-0.
Now, what it does mean is that we've got these two...
so that means...
I don't know.
Tom Mills is in 2nd and Glenn Woodbridge is in 3rd now. So it's first ever outing in the
first ever race, and he's going to be second place. That's
absolutely
amazing.
Phenomenal.
What's he raced before? Do you know, Spencer?
I think he's had a little go in some Formula Fords.
Okay.
I know his family are into karting and stuff like that, to be honest.
He's going to be happy with that, isn't he?
He's going to be over the moon.
So...
Be interesting to know what's going on with Mike Jordan, though. He seemed to be flying, and he's just pulled off all of a sudden.
I think it's unlikely we're going to see another fast lap, so at least some consolidation for Mike Jordan, who's got the fastest lap. But
he'll be handing a win to your championship contender.
Got a bit of contact there, Joe Polly.
Yeah, this is really heating up now, and you've got the S-Class of Matty Ayres there, just creeping into the battle, and he's walking away with the win there. But it looks like it's really heating up for second place, as Mike Winkworth's coming back into contention, coming up the grid. So it looks like we've got Mike Winkworth going to... Oh, and Joe Polly's into the side of Glenn Woodbridge.
Massive contact there.
Big contact there. Big contact. And that allows a few of them through. And these are for the podium positions. And Joe Polly's into Lee Roberts.
Joe Pratt's in a mini
bit
stock
of
ways.
rallycross there,
And,
yeah.
well, she's held it on the black stuff, so that's one thing, but they won't be happy with
You
that.
can see in the background there, we've got Fraser Hack in second, closely followed by Mike Winkworth.
So this is probably the battle to watch now. We've got
head
Michael
on to the
Winkworth goes
final lap.
around the outside. Michael Winkworth hoping for Winter Series class
And
honours.
it's a great move by Mike there, up to the inside, and as they come into the complex, he'll have the line there, and I'm pretty sure he'll go up into second place.
So it's going to be the last of the late breakers there between Michael Winkworth.
I
As,
think this is where they keep eyes on. So you've got
former go-karter Matt Ayres
Glenn
gone.
Woodbridge going for the outside. Yep, he's third overall there in the S class. So it's an impressive drive from Matt Ayres there.
And we saw something similar with the Mini Libras and the Mini Miglias earlier, where Dan Lewis was coming through. But don't forget, these Mini 7 S class, the green topped car there of Matt Ayres, they started 10 seconds further down the road. So
looks like Joe Polly's pulling out of the toes. You're going to get past.
we're going to see some more contact. We've already lost the wheel arches. There's not much left to lose on that side.
Goes, yeah, Joe Polly's through into fourth place there in the Mini 7s. Fifth place, sorry. And we'll be able to get Lee Roberts on the final corner. It looks like there's too much
Right,
gap
so
there.
this is the final lap. If we see Conor O'Brien comes across the line, and that's
that
it.
Could well be the
That,
championship.
as far as I can see, Spencer, I think that is your champion for 2022.
Yeah, I think you might be
Conor
right.
O'Brien.
I mean, we need to go away and do some of the math.
Amazing result for Mills in the
Absolutely
former
fantastic
Jonathan Lewis car.
result there. And it looks like in third place we have Darren Thomas.
Darren Thomas.
Going to be great to see Darren on the podium.
Absolutely.
And the S class, we've got Matt Ayres taking the win, and then
Fourth
it's
place
Damien
overall.
Harrington, or is it Mike Winkworth?
Damien Harrington has taken it, so
Looks like
that
Damien Harrington.
puts him in a very good stead. But I don't think he's quite won. So
Great result there for Arnold Duncan as well in the flying turd. Great to see him coming up to be in first.
You've said it now.
There's the elephant in the room.
So congratulations to Conor O'Brien. Be a popular winner here, I'm sure. He's young chap. We don't know quite how old he is. We were talking about this before the race. We'd say early 20s.
Yeah, early 20s, something like that. But great to see him win.
As ever, thanks very much to the Orange Marshals, the Orange team. Without the Marshals, we wouldn't be here. They are volunteers.
Dying to know what's gone wrong with the two other front runners in the 7s, Joe and Mike. Very bizarre circumstances there, both pulling off at exactly the same time. I'm not sure what's happened there.
It's quite an abrasive circuit though. That's the long hanger straight, and you're holding that high RPM. If they've opted for, you can change the gear ratios in these cars. If they've opted for a slightly shorter gear ratio, they're going to be screaming down that back straight. And there's only so many times you can do that with an A-Series engine. Okay, so your results. So we've got Conor O'Brien, provisional, I would say, 2022 Mini 7 champion. Tom Mills' first ever race. Amazing result. He was 10 seconds down the road there, but still amazing. We've got Darren Thomas, Mini 7. Great to see him back on the podium again. We've got Matt Ayres, who picks up the top podium position there in the Mini 7 S class. We've got Lee Roberts, Joe Polly, Glenn Woodbridge, Jordan Sims, Damien Harrington, who we believe has got a real good advantage there for the Mini 7S class. Michael Winkworth, who's going to be at the head of the Winter Series. Fraser Hack, great race from him. Arnold Duncan. Tina Cooper, 1992 champion. Ryan Taylor. Chris Pryor. Ollie Handley. Paul Woodbridge finished off the Mini 7s. And we've got Giles Page, James Ball, Dave Rees, Jeff Williams. This is a monster field. Ben Johnson, John Coburn-Evans, Mal Dixon, Mike Jordan, who unfortunately didn't finish, and then Joe Thompson, Jack Vanner, Stuart Gilby, Jonathan Page, and Graham Davis. That's your non-finishers there. And Stephen Hopper as well at the back. So unfortunately, didn't have a very high percentage of finishes in that one, but pretty good race, Spencer.
Yeah, all in very intense race. Great to see the front guys battling it out. Great S-Class race too. Be keen to see what happened there with a couple of the front guys dropping back and then making their way back through. Some standout results as well. I think Tom Mills, driver of the day, sort of to come through on his first ever Mini 7 race, come second. I mean, he'll be one to watch for next season, absolutely.
Okay, well, that's it for us for today. We've got round 16 of the Mini 7 and Mini Miglia Championship supported by Mini Spares coming up tomorrow. So make sure to tune into that. We'll share the link tomorrow on our Facebook page. And for now, thanks very much for watching.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Silverstone then for the final Caterham action of today. Plenty more action tomorrow, but look at the sun as it sets in this autumnal setting, but the weather is absolutely glorious out there, and it's a bit windy still. We've got the action from here at Caterham Silverstone in the international circuit, but we've also got action out in Spa as well, where the 270s, 310s and 7 Championship UK are also rounding off their championships. You can see we're rating and raring to go with the next Academy race, but Sam is down there in the pit lane, and we've got another champion to celebrate, and Pete Walters has taken the 310R Championship, so great for him.
Fantastic news. That's great. Yes, he was, looking strong all season, wasn't he? But Harry George was close on his heels. So Harry, is it confirmed that he's second, or is it still open for the second and third place?
Yeah, I believe Harry George definitely has taken that second place. We will confirm. Everything is provisional until we've had all the confirmed results and whatever. But yeah, Harry George certainly looking solid in that second place. Jack Sales having another good race out there, but yeah, not able to do that. But Jack Sales currently still third in that championship. But I think Jack Sales' position is probably still open for tomorrow. But yes, so some good stuff. We already talked about Aaron Head, but we've still got Road Sports to conclude tomorrow, but that it will be the Road Sports and 270R are the final 2 championships we've got to decide. 270R, O'Flanagan's won the championship, but Hugo Busch and Mansberger are absolutely locked together in that second place. So they will have a battle tomorrow to figure out who is second in that championship.
Yes, so going back to the 310R Championship, what a great year for Harry George, finishing second in only his second year of racing.
Yeah, jumping straight up from the academy he was in last year, where he became second and was kind of disappointed, but he's now second again, which I'm sure will feel a bit disappointing, but equally he's put himself up several steps of that ladder and put himself right into the mix in the 310s, and that is no mean feat at all. Pete Walters has been racing the 310s now for a good number of years, very, very experienced racer and multiple champion, so he'll be pleased to get that. And yeah, Harry George up against Jack Sales, and Jack Sales, an experienced multiple champion in Caterhams as well. So yeah, great stuff all round, and yeah, it's been a fantastic season for all of those boys and girls.
It has, and the 310R grid is huge, isn't it? I mean, they're all fairly large, but 310R Championship is very competitive, and yeah, big grid. So to do well in that is really, really quite something, and great for LFP, because obviously I think Pete Walters and Harry George are both LFP guys, so they've done very well. Yeah, absolutely, and obviously all the teams and up and down, they're all very competitive with each other. I think it's something like 40 drivers we've got a 310R Championship, something bonkers like that. And in fact, we have even more than that when you count taking guest drivers who aren't scoring points in the championship. But yeah, great for LFP and across all then DPI Sport winning the 420s, and Hugo Busch and looking. And Mansberger are looking to try and get there. So yeah, all the teams having their own rivalries as well, but we can see cars are out on track for this final race of today, the final race of the Caterham Academy season for the Green Group. And Roger Patke's already taken the championship, and he's not racing with us today. He doesn't want to jeopardise that, but we've still got a fight on between Patel and Hibbert, although it's looking pretty good for Patel in second, Hibbert in third. Yes, it is. And yes, it would be the great race, great conditions for the cars, nice cool air, but dry and sunny. It's great conditions, and Silverstone is a great. I like the international circuit actually. I think it's a really good layout.
For Caterhams especially, they have a lot of action around here. I mean, it's kind of one of those drivers either love it or hate it because it's so variable. It's a game of chess out there, really high-speed chess on wheels. But yeah, it really does lead to really close Caterham action, and I can't wait to see how this team are going to get on in the green group. We've already seen the white group, obviously, but they're just coming around to complete their green flag formation lap. So it's worth going through quickly the racing order. So Sabin puts it on pole ahead of Patel, Boyle, Hibbert down in fourth, then Harvey Lawrence, Hope, Ballard, Warnock, Butler, Denny, Gregor, Jarvis, Crossman, Smith, Waitman, Bailey, Mark Soden, Patel, Trinder and Sullivan round out a top 20 or 20 car field. So lots of drivers there, all finishing their seasons off, and we'll be looking forward to seeing them in Roadsport again next year.
Yes, I've just looked up above. We're standing just by we're on the green verge in the pit lane, and I just looked up on top of the wing, and there's a lot of spectators. A lot of our Caterham drivers are up there watching this academy race and supporting them. They're all waving waving at us down here as well in the pit lane. I don't know if you can hear them behind me.
You can hear them cheering away. Yeah, absolutely. It's such a great atmosphere for anyone looking to get into motorsport. Caterham Academy is definitely the #1 place to come and get your racing fix. They're all novices out there, and it is as much a race for all these drivers as it is for all their friends and family. You can see this grid now nicely forming up there, but the conditions absolutely perfect with the slight breeze, cool air temperatures, but the track is nice and warm under that sun, so we might even see some great lap times as well. We already broke the lap record last time out, see whether we can do so again. But yes, I think, like I say, Patel looking to take this one down, and he has won a race this season already, so seeing whether he can add another one to his list. So here we go.
So
See them lining
they're
up.
almost lined up.
Yeah, they're nearly there now. Nearly ready for our first race. Well, they're a one and only actual championship race. Again, we talk about a race tomorrow, but we are getting the final rows this grid up and running. So we'll soon get the green flag, and we will get the Caterham Academy Green Group underway. Thanks, Sam, ever so much for all that effort out there. And let's get to the racing action. I'm sure you'll enjoy this as we go racing for the last time today, but we've got plenty more action to throw your way tomorrow. Green flag then at the back, 5-second board being shown to all the drivers. Look for that red light top left of your screen. It comes on now. They're all under starters orders. Let's get this race underway, and away we go. It looks like Patel got a better jump off the line than our pole sitter there did at the moment. Soden offline. So Patel leads then. And in fact, yes, Saban has dropped all the way back down to 4th or 5th place after that start. As we follow on through here, there's that sun, the sun glinting off the cars and off the track. They've all made it through Abbey and out through Farm and now into the Link for the first time. There's the 93 car going through as well. Boyle has dropped back a little bit after his start line, but Patel takes that lead through in the opening lap. They've generated a little gap, haven't they, after everyone else filtered on through. They had a kind of clearer run through the opening couple of corners, and that's left Patel and Hibbert to pull clear of Saban. So from that pole position, he's dropped back, and now Boyle is having a go around the outside. Just behind them is Harvey Lawrence in the white, turquoise and yellow car. All reaching their tyres, the Avon Caterham Academy tyres, dedicated tyre for this championship series. It's one of the things, the upgrade for next year when they get into the road sports. They change those Caterham Academy tyres for the Caterham ZZR that everyone else runs on. So as they head round then club and out, there's Saban losing another position there to Harvey Lawrence as he exited club that time. They're heading on this Lewis Hamilton straight then. But it is Patel out front, ahead of Hibbert, and then Boyle, Lawrence, Saban, Ballard are the line. And see the whole gaggle of the cars coming across here. It's great to see them all still firmly ensconced in their battles. There's Butler, I think, and they've got a spinner in the middle of the track there. That's an awkward place to spin. I hope that they all manage to avoid that. One of the cars looks like number 86, that's Denny, which recovering back to the track. That wouldn't have been a nice place to have a car spinning in front of you. It's absolutely on the limit of adhesion as you go through that sequence corners at the front there. Absolutely flat out as fast as you can take these cars. And Lawrence off onto the grass on the exit there as he heads down onto the hanger straight. That's going to affect his speed all the way onto that straight. And it looks like then Saban will be able to get him back, and he's in the tow of Boyle. So I'm pretty sure he is going to make that up. Saban showing some real good lick of speed at the tail end of the season. Remember that Rittich Patke has already taken the championship win for this green group, but it's absolutely still open to get that 2nd and 3rd place, although with Patel out front, he's doing everything he needs to do because it's Hibbert that needs to win with fastest lap to try and take that away. And in fact, behind them, it's also the same for Ian Hibbert and then Toby Ballard, who's not currently, he's in 6th place, so he's not looking like he's going to challenge for that podium in the championship at this stage. But Patel doing what he did in the early part of the season, and that's showing a clean pair of heels for this chasing group, and it's Hibbert up the inside of Boyle, and on the outside, our pole sitter, Saban, around the outside, and he was absolutely the man on form, man on a mission up at Knock Hill, and really showing a really good turn of pace at the tail end of the season, showing good for him into the next season, and if you couldn't take that on into the road sport, but got this race to get done before that happens. Sideways as Hibbert hangs the rear of that car out as they go through Lincoln, then on to the hanger straight again. It's long straight. Remember, they've got a headwind down here today, so the toe is going to be super strong, but that doesn't affect Patel, who's out front and gone clear, but the battle behind is the one that's raging on. But there is Patel. Currently, the fastest lap of this race is held by Hope, well back there. We've got a car park coming in to stow this time through, and there is the number 72 of Ballard, who is the other person who could be in a chance of the third place, but he needs to win with the fastest lap at the moment. That's not looking likely with Patel out front, but we've also seen Patel have a few spins earlier in the season. He seems to have ironed most of that out now. So he, there's still potential that these guys can all be fighting. Out on the greenery is not where you want to be, though. That's going to drop him back a little bit. It gets super slippery out on that AstroTurf on the outside of club, and there's no way of pulling it back other than coming out the throttle, and that's why you'll see Toby Ballard slipping backwards. But it is side by side between Hibbert and Sabin for our second and third place. As we see Patel just making his way cleanly through and out front. And there is Sabin in that second place, currently ahead of Hibbert, ahead of Boyle. And then it's Hope, Ballard and Lawrence all in that pack with them, sort of all chasing down together. This is kind of what we expect from Silverstone International. Everyone gets drawn along in trains, but we have got one driver that's escaped down the road where the toe that is no longer sort of being as effective for these chasing group, where they've battled, and he's increasing his gap every single time. He's currently 3 seconds to the good, so what a amazing performance for him. He's absolutely solidifying his second place in that championship. Remember, Roger Patke's not here today. He'll be racing in the Autumn Trophy tomorrow with us. So he's currently done enough. So he will only ever affect his championship if he was racing today. For example, if he got a penalty, then suddenly, instead of winning the championship, you can lose it. So he's taken the wise decision of not racing. A little bit of debris running down the track there. Didn't see where that came from. But Hibbert is now up the inside of Sabin into the second place. Sabin's day today started leaving the Parc Ferme and managed to run over his own bonnet. So that was a new one on him, another learning experience. But it looks like that bonnet has gone back on, and his car with a pole position clearly going even faster for it. But side by side between those two, Hibbert versus Sabin as they head up into Abbey this time through, taking the outside line, took the extra speed in. Hibbert has to sit into that third place. Around here, then into the link and down across and to hanger straight through the link position. So this is still on the Grand Prix track here. We leave the Grand Prix track at the loop where you see them all cutting across now. It's a little bit bumpy tarmac. Got to pick out this crucial apex, which Harvey Lawrence doesn't manage to do that time. It's absolutely crucial to get that apex and carry all your speed out here onto the start-finish straight as positioned. Hope still has that fastest lap with a 21.3 back in 4th place, but he's making his way up through the field, and in fact you can see him there. Next up is going to be Hibbert on his shopping list, so there is Hope down the inside, throwing it down the inside. In fact, Sabin got hung out to dry there. Hope makes it all the way up into that second place, so what a great lap that's been for him. He already made up a place last time through and has made another couple that time through, but he's not got the speed out. Sabin's up the inside though of them all, coming down here into the heaviest braking point we've got on this Silverstone circuit into the Vale Club. It's still a 50-mile-an-hour corner or thereabouts, 45 probably. So they're still carrying an awful lot of speed. He's nearly onto that greenery, just managed to keep it on that track. Hope is on the inside there, and Haben is still holding on around the outside. Got the run of speed as they head up here on the straight. Everybody, remember, they've got a tailwind as they come up here. Everyone is going to be looking to see whether they can carry on and pull on to the coattails as Hibbert makes his way back up the inside of number 99 of Hope. Patel's still disappearing off down at the right line though. Like Hibbert, as the sun comes towards us, makes it harder. Harvey Lawrence locking his rears. We saw that little bit of knock as well. Got spin, and that's Hope. Is spun out of second place, I think, at the front there. He's going to be able to rejoin, but that's pushed him all the way to the back of that grid, the group of cars that he was in, and still got lots of time left in this race, and he's already moved forward once, so he will be able to do it again, but he just spun. I don't know whether he was helped into that spin, but like I said earlier, the cars are absolutely on the ragged edge of cohesion. They take as much grip as these Caterham Academy Avon tyres will give them around there, and it's just about flat out, so it's high-speed endeavours indeed, but that gives Hibbert a clear third place currently. There's the number 72, so Boylan number 93 is racing with Ballard. Remember, Ballard is also in that podium race, but at the moment he's not doing what he needs to do to chase it. There's that replay of the spin. Oh, they're lucky that all those drivers avoided him as well, but again, I missed the beginning of it, unfortunately. I was just looking down my timing screen. There's side by side between Lawrence and the number 42 as they head on around Club, and they're going to start their 7th lap, 6 laps in the bank already, 7 laps in. Not quite at half distance, so we're going to get 4 to 15 laps out of this race as they head around the Silverstone International Circuit. That's 1.85 miles around, or just about 3 kilometres in length. We've already been here once this year in the Silverstone Grand Prix loop, did the full circuit, which is great, and I'd say a bucket list for many of these drivers, but they come back here and it's the international circuit. We've already seen how much racing this generates around this circuit. And, yeah, it's fantastic to see the Caterham Academy and their last race of this season. There is Patel then out front and clear, running in 21.3 the last time out. He is, so we saw in the last race someone dipped into the 19, so they're not running as high a pace, and that's where the autumn trophy, you can need to use all of the track there through Stowe. He's definitely managing his race at the moment, but he doesn't need to hang it all out there. He's got all the time in the world with half the race left. Let's keep an eye on that gap though. He's about 4.6 seconds clear last time through, but I get the impression that Hibbert might be a bit, Saban might be a little bit closer than that, but let's keep an eye on that as the race goes on, just to see whether there is going to be any pressure put on. There's a definite gap now back to Boyle and excuse me, Ballard as they go on through. So there are some distinct groups forming now. That is that battle we just mentioned. And Lawrence behind it. It looks like Butler getting involved as well. So he's coming up and chasing through to this group. And we've seen Butler earlier in the year having very strong results. And in fact, several times throughout the season, we've seen him right up there near the front of this group. And so international circuit, he's just getting it under control, just taking over from Harvey Lawrence that time through in the 6th place. So Harvey Lawrence sitting in 7th place currently. As Patel comes down that hanger straight once more. And last time through, 3.4 seconds. So yes, it has lost a second of his lead. And we did see him not taking the full circuit at Stowe last time through. Let's see his line here this time. Absolutely on the raggedy edge of the track there. Absolutely perfect. Going to take that late apex. And it looks like he is going to carry the speed through this time. So I wonder whether he made a mistake last time through or was just feeling a bit too relaxed in that lead. But he's certainly, he's got a car to deal with as well, hasn't he? So it's not going to be too long before he has to deal with some back markers. It looks like it might be Sullivan who's back with us this weekend. Welcome back to Jeff Sullivan into the grid for the final race of the season. Absolutely, Saban using all the track there. Hibbert using that allowed to use all the curbing as well, the black and white curbing that we've got here at Silverstone as they head up here into the straight. We haven't talked too much yet about track limits, which is great. Yeah, the car's all managing to keep within the bounds of the track, and that's the best way we can go racing. Boyle and Butler now stuck together again as they head on through. There is Patel catching up with that back marker. And this time through 3.1 seconds. So that gap from the lead has gone from 4.6 to 3.1 in the last couple of laps. So Saban is definitely eating into that advantage. Remember that Saban was our pole sitter, and whilst he drifted back to about 6th place, he is right back up there as Hibbert absolutely hangs the rear of his number 83 car. Again, a driver we've seen right at the top of this field throughout our season so far, and he's going to make 3rd place looks like to be his at this stage of the race. Patel certainly looks like to have solidified his 2nd place. He can afford to drift back. As long as Hibbert doesn't make it into the lead of this race, he can afford to drift back quite substantially. So at the moment, everything is going to be as it was when we came into this race. But Patel had a fantastic start to the season, had a couple of spins which cost him valuable positions. And then after round 1, where we saw Roger Patke, taken out by, I think, in an accident sort of early on in the race. He wasn't able to show his true pace, but then he went on a string of wins. He won 5 races in a row, and that's how he sealed his championship before the final round. Patel has taken a win as well, and there's be another winner in there as well. But yeah, so we had plenty of different drivers, but it was definitely Rajaj Patke who was the star of it, star of the show. It was Harvey Lawrence took the opening sprint event, so he's the other winner this season. He was at the Kerberos sprint venue, which is where we started our season way back when, and he came away with the fastest time of the day that day. So well done to Harvey. He's been a bit curtailed in the mid part of this season, but I'm sure he'll be back and ready to go with the Roadsport grid next year. So that gap again, which we've watching another second gone from that in the last lap, and it's definitely Sabin who is running fast. He has also set the fastest lap of the race now with a 20.6, so not quite into the 19s as yet, but he's going to get the toe of Patel soon, who, after having a very relaxed opening part to this this weekend, I'm sure will now be a little bit more stressed. We've got a car off though. Daniel Hope again off into the gravel, frustrated as he hits the dashboard in frustration. And that looks like, I'm trying to work out where that bit of the track is. It's a bit identified for me, but nevertheless, he is out of this race. And will that car be in a position deemed to need a safety car? If we do, it's going to be really a pretty sprint to the line, and that can throw the dice up in the air. Can't see where they land. Who knows what would happen if he do have to have a safety car. 6 minutes of this race to go. Patel still leads, but it's Sabin in that second place with the fastest lap. And remember, we need, Hibbert to take that second place, needs to take the win and the fastest lap. So still looking good for Patel, even if we have to have that restart. Doesn't look like I've got a message yet about a safety car. There is Sabin, fastest car on track, and grabbing huge chunks out of the lead of Patel on the last few laps through. There is that. So it's just on the exit of Stowe. In fact, not the exit of Stowe, the entry of Stowe, really. So they've got double waved yellows down in there, all taking it nice and easy. Patel very easy on the accelerator there. So whether that's a safety car, but Sabin really did catch up a long way in that yellow car zone. You can see that getting that car, Hope is going to go behind the barrier. So his lead group gap is gone now. So that was 1.6 seconds last time through, and now it is down to 0. We come to the tail of this thing. It looks like that car might be deemed to be left there. I'm wondering whether the stewards are still sort of making their mind up what they want to do. But as they've gone round once already under double waved yellows, I think this race is going to go to the end, potentially with waved yellows in that Stowe, which is obviously a big overtaking opportunity. So it will reduce Simon Sabin's chances. But what started out as running over his bonnet in the Parc Fermé is that going to have he's got pole position, already a good start. Can he convert that into a win? His first win. That'll be interesting to watch out for. He's got I think a third place already with us, so this will be a couple of steps up. He's already in the best and he's got this season, but let's see whether he can convert it. He's right up the rear panel. Lost, as I said that, he's cost himself quite a bit of time in that one manoeuvre around the link there. You could see the end of the car just stepped out on him and he didn't get a chance to pull it back together, but it's still 4 minutes to go. It really is going to come down to the raggedy edge of this one as well. We've seen already championships being decided on the last corner of the last lap. Across things, lots of gravel across the track into Stowe there. That must be where the Hope car kicked up, maybe just took too much wide line into there. But Sabin is now closing in again. The heads are through. So yes, Sabin has got a third and a second position according to my sheet. So yeah, doing very well in the tail end of this season, and this looks to be continuing on as we head into the last 3.5 minutes of this Caterham Academy Green Group Championship. Remember, we've already crowned our Green Group champion, and he will be racing with us tomorrow in the Autumn Trophy, but this is the battle for second, and currently Patel has it lined up and all sewn up as long as Hibbert doesn't make it past him and into the lead in 3 places beyond him. So I think at the moment Patel still looks like got it all with him. But plenty can happen in 3 minutes of Caterham action, and normally does. Sabin is now, after that mistake we saw 1 lap ago, he is right up the rear panel again of Patel. Can he hold it together this time? He gets the closer to the apex. Patel was nowhere near worrying that apex that time through. They both exit with a reasonable speed, but Sabin will have the toe as they head on down the hanger straight. He drips out of the side as he heads down into Stowe Corner. He's going to put his wheels ahead before they turn in. He is going to have that done and dusted. Brake on that gravel, but Patel has to capitulate, has to let him go. Sabin takes that momentum through and out and off into the distance. So he's actually got a little bit of a springboard there, hasn't he, as well? He's not just overtaken. He's actually managed to spring a tiny gap. Here comes Hibbert as well, coming across what was an equally large gap. So he's only 1.2 seconds the last time through, and it looks like that's going to have reduced back down to maybe even 0.8 of a second. So Patel, after what was a relaxing opening to this race with 2 minutes left, he is going to have to get his skates on. Remember, he's still pretty solid in that second place in the championship, so I don't think at this stage he's got any worry. They are covering that car there. You can see Hope up in the back. That's Trinder in the number 57, so he's just recovering himself back to, that's out of, through the link past Harvey Lawrence and that chasing group. We saw them fully involved in the lead battle earlier on, or the battle for second as it was then. But that's Harvey Lawrence currently leading that chase group, come across in fourth. So the first three are out and clear, but this is the battle for that fourth place. See then Harvey Lawrence in that turquoise 11. He started this season with a win at a sprint event at Kerber. Not going to trouble that apex as they come down and hang a straight once more. And here come then that lead group, and they will be starting their last lap the next time they go across the line, won't they, with 1 minute, just over 1 minute to go. So it is Saban leading, Patel leads Hibbert currently, and then the chase group following along. But it does look like Saban has had the pace, so that qualifying pace was absolutely there and thereabouts, and he's also got that fastest lap, so that's going to maximise his points coming through to this final round. Hibbert sitting in that third place, but Patel is catching very nicely onto the rear of Saban that time through, and he's on their final lap, so he's going to lead going into Abbey for this final, and that's going to give Hibbert the chance to close up. Saban says, I'm not done with this yet, and takes back that lead. They head through the left of Farm, and now they're heading into that link corner. Sorry, it's the village first, then the link. Hibbert does take over second place from Patel, who either is having a trouble or is he's decided that actually doesn't need to fight this. He's done easily enough to hold his second place. So Patel finds himself in that third place, and Hibbert does find himself in that second place. But at the moment, that still does enough for Patel to take second place. They head down his hanger straight then. As we see side by side, Hibbert now is taken on the mantle of battling as they come into the tail end of this race then. The Caterham Academy Green Group season coming to a close after a couple more corners. Saban currently leads Hibbert, and he leads Patel as they come. They've guaranteed, as long as they finish, lock up from the rear of in fact, both of them locked up there, Patel and Hibbert locking up into club, but it looks like Saban has got this done and dusted win and a fastest lap. He's just got to make it round this corner. He does a little bit of a protected line, but it looks like he's going to make it. So Saban does make it across the line in that first place. Hibbert takes second and Patel takes that third place. And given those positions there, that does then solidify Patel in that second place, and Hibbert does take third. Saban comes across, I think, probably fourth in that championship. So that was the championship leaders as we watch the rest of the field coming on through. So Saban winning that race by 0.2 of a second, maybe 0.3 of a second. Virtually comfortable round here at the Silverstone, but what a tail end to the season he's had. What can he do in the Autumn Trophy tomorrow? Remember, we're going to combine this grid, the green group we just watched, with the white group we watched a little bit earlier, and they're going to go absolutely battling for honours. They've got a qualifying tomorrow morning, and then they will be heading out on track all together in one large grid of cars, and I can't wait to bring you all the action for that tomorrow. But for now, it's Simon Saban out front ahead of Hibbert, and Patel taking that third place. Baltic fourth, Lawrence fifth, Butler sixth, Warnock was seventh, Crossman was in eighth place. You can see all those cars there. Again, waving to all the crowd, or their family, friends, supporters, waving to each other, and absolutely saying thank you to all of our marshals out there on circuit, allowing us to do all the racing. Thank you ever so much to all our marshals. You can hear the horns. These are road legal cars. Remember, all these Academy cars, you can racing here today and drive them on the public highway home if you would so wish. But thank you ever so much to all the marshals, and I know all the drivers echo those sentiments around the field and across all of our Caterham Motorsport and across In fact, Simon Saban has missed. He's missed the pit entrance. Such was his excitement about winning this. He wanted to go across the line once more. Everyone else managed to make it into the pits, but Simon Saban has now managed to go around. I wonder whether they'll direct him backwards down the pit lane, because obviously on fairly tight schedules of motor racing calendars, they don't like drivers taking a couple. But here's confirmation then of divisional results, subject to Simon Saban going up to see the stewards after that one. Simon Saban takes the win over Hibbert. Ravi Patel takes third place. Toby Ballard finishes in fourth. Harvey Lawrence finishes his season fifth. Butler, Warnock, Crossman, Gregor and William Jarvis round out that top 10. And then a little bit further behind them, we have Denny, Smith, Waitman, Bailey, Mark Zoden, Patel, and that's British Patel there, Trinder, Sullivan, Boyle, and Hope. We saw a couple of those drivers, didn't we? Boyle, Hope, and were a couple of laps unclassified towards the end of that race. We saw Hope in the gravel after what was a great run through the field. But these drivers will all be heading now back to Parc Fermé for the final time, but we are going to be missing our winner until he makes it all the way around this 1.8 miles of the Silverstone International Circuit. But Sam down there waiting for most of our drivers. So, yeah.
Yes, I think the relief in these guys, they just needed to come and give each other a hug. Let's have a quick word with these guys. Ian, congratulations. Actually, we'll just move over. Oh, we'll just move this way because Simon's going to come back in a moment. Congratulations. You must be delighted with that. It was a great race.
Oh, it was, yeah, best race of the season because, I mean, I love being the hunter rather than the hunted. And having Simon and Ravi to hunt down, I could just focus on the driving, chip away, and yeah, loved it. Brilliant. And I think I've wrapped up third in the championship as well. So, yeah.
I believe so. I will wait for confirmation, but yes, I believe that is the case.
I'm not sure about Simon's overtake and possibly under a yellow flag, but I'm sure someone will look at that. But anyway, yeah.
So sum up your season, so for your first year of racing.
Oh, I don't know. You pick a word. It's I can't think of a word at the moment. Just exhilarating, exciting, family, friends, new friends. You know.
That's good enough. Lovely. Thank you. Congratulations. I'll just wait for Simon to get out of his car, have a quick word with Ravi in a moment. He's just talking to the circuit radio.
Yeah, so Ravi confirmed in that second place, and yeah, Hibbert is confirmed third place, according to my calculations, provisionally up until we get everything sorted out. Like you heard, there may have been some overtaking, whatever, that needs to be stewarded, but nevertheless, yeah, great stuff.
Oh, it's so lovely to see lots of people from the other academy group as well come to congratulate them. You can see Matt Larby there come to congratulate Simon. I will come to Simon as he's ready now. Just wanted another lap there, didn't you, Simon?
I was just too excited. So I was celebrating the marshals and forgot I had to go in the pit. So I thought I'd go around again. It was great. It was lovely. Oh, why not? Why not?
Why not? Another victory lap.
Yes, very nice. So
that was a great race to watch, and congratulations on getting the win.
It was great. I'm glad I managed to get this one after Knockhill. So it was lovely. And just to call out to Mr. Bentley in his seats, I said I'd do that. So there you go, Mr. Bentley. But yeah, lovely. Thank you very much.
And in scrutineering, you had a little drive over your.
I might have gone over
your bonnet, so that obviously helped.
Absolutely. I maybe a little bit of aerodynamic shift, but yeah, that was a bit of a mistake. But the day improved from there, I have to say. So.
Excellent. Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Right, I'll move over to Ravi now, who is just behind me. Ravi, let's grab a word with you. Congratulations, second in the championship. What a year you've had. You've been right up there all the year, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been a journey. It's been fun. With this race, I've just learned from the other ones. I thought, look, just make sure if you got your podium, you're second in the championship secured. Yellow flag slowed it all down. I felt like I was on a track day on my own. I thought this is just easy sort of thing, but that's racing safety. As I said to your colleague, safety cars can come out, yellow flags can come out, and yeah, just bunched it up. I just wanted to make sure I finished on a podium today to secure the championship, more than do what I've done in the other ones, just go for P1 and of course and have a hassle, basically.
You did have quite a lead, didn't you, to begin with? And then did you sort of slow down a little bit? Because you had quite a gap from you and the others.
So it was this yellow flag out. There was a car stuck in a gravel just before Stowe. So basically, every time we went past there, the yellow flag was out. So I had to slow down. I took the risk if I didn't, of course. I mean, you're not allowed not to. So yeah, it just crunched it up. So just lost all that lead, sadly. And by then, it's kind of like it was literally a couple of minutes left. So, but look in the bigger picture, the second in the championship.
Exactly, amazing. And for your first year in racing, it's great. And how would you sum up your racing season?
A big learning curve. Came in without having ever been on a track before, and literally Caterham held my hand, and yeah, honestly, it's been a massive steep learning curve. But loved every minute of it.
Excellent. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. Congratulations. We'll move over to the podium celebrations in a few minutes.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Again, look at all the family and friends all around sort of celebrating with everyone. They've all been on the journey together, and I know that you sort of get to see that a bit more than we do up in the commentary box, but it's great to see.
Oh, it is. And there's Rog Patke there as well, our championship winner. Come to congratulate Simon.
Yeah, what a tail end to the season Simon Sabin's happened. I think it sounds like you might have to go and see someone in the steward's office, but nevertheless, what a tail end to the season. And it shows how things build up, and this is only the step one of their racing. They've got another, if they want to all do road sport, it's a really quick upgrade. They just put new tyres on it and off they go.
Yes, what a simple upgrade, but also, learning the new tyres is something, it's quite a change for the car, isn't it? You know the transition yourself.
Yeah, I think that just strapping on the new tyres and a new rear anti-roll bar gives you something like 2 seconds per lap. We sort of the lap record around here for the 2:18s for Roadsport. It's a 2:20s for the Academy. So yeah, just those tyres, and it sounds like a really small upgrade, but it really does make a difference. The whole character of the car changes and it makes it far more racy. But yeah, it's been fantastic, and say quite jealous of. I'm not always jealous of the weather you have to stand out in, Sam, but I am jealous of the fact that you get to see everyone smiling and celebrating.
Yes, well, when it's not raining, it's mind you, I'll say when it's not raining, we haven't actually had any wet races this year, have we?
It's been unbelievable. We've seen a couple of wet races at Silverstone Grand Prix, I think, but that was kind of it.
Well,
and even then, I think it was more sessions than it wasn't permanently wet, was it?
Not really, no. So we've been very fortunate with the weather this year. So yes, it's just the cold sometimes.
Well, it depends. Yeah, I bet you do. Yeah, it depends if you like the wet. I guess a lot of these drivers will probably suggest that they do like driving in the wet. But I think it's kind of rare for the Academy never to have had the opportunity to do so. And maybe next year in Roadsport they've got to do all that learning as well.
Yes, exactly. And it would be. These, talking about the tyres, obviously these tyres are there, they are the rock hard, solid compound to be able to learn on them. You learn how the car moves around, but I'll stop talking now so we can move over for the podium.
Oh, great. So they're nearly ready for their podiums then, so that's
they
great.
Are.
But yes, we'll see whether we can pick them up on our camera. And yeah, just like you say, the tyres are designed around learning car control. They're still very grippy. In fact, here come the podiums. So Kirsty announcing our podiums then. So there is Patel taking that 3rd place then in that race, but 2nd place in our Academy Green Group Championship, doing what he needed to do. I just remember working out which step he needed to be on. There's Hibbett there taking a fantastic 2nd place, and great talent is solidifying his 3rd place in the championship, but taking his win. Simon Sabin, absolutely brilliant result after running over his bonnet. But the win is his, taking an extra lap. It's been an eventful Silverstone, hasn't it? Like I say, that concludes our Caterham action for today, but we are back with all these, back with all the racing. So the Academy Trophy tomorrow, Sam, everyone racing together. Green group or white group, that's the big question. In fact, we're going to be giving. There's Roger getting his. He is that champion. When everyone was there with the spraying champagne, but that was briefly Roger Patke on our screen, who is the Caterham Green Group champion this year. But yeah, the trophy race. Who's going to do it?
I don't know. I mean, you've seen all the lap times, Chris. What do you think about who was the quickest out of the 2 races?
If the lap times are anything to go by, then white group has it. So that's the McEwing and Larby and people like that. But Roger Patke is there. He is always fast, and he looks like the most likely to dominate them if he can. And I think when they were at Silverstone together last time, I think he did take that win outright win. So I think I'm going to put that to Roger Patke, and I think he's going to take it tomorrow. So that's my bet. Are you going to go anywhere different?
I'm almost scared to, actually. I do agree with you. I mean, obviously, you were right about Tom. You said you put your money on Tom for the other group. You were right. So, yes, looking at the facts, I would say Patke as well.
Yeah, I think it's still an open race, though, between him and McEwing and Larby, for sure. And I've only taken the easy options, haven't I? You put them first, so I've just grabbed the easy fruit to pick. But yeah, so we will be back tomorrow with all that action. So we're starting, 3 more races tomorrow. We've got a couple of the Roadsports. Roadsports is our final remaining championship to wrap up. And that will be between our Roadsport drivers. They've got 2 races starting at roughly 10:30 tomorrow morning. In fact, 10:25. But we tend to run early, so do make sure you tune into the stream early on. They've got their second race at about 4:10, and then we conclude with the Caterham Autumn Trophy around about that 4:30. Thank you, Sam, out there in the world. Thank you, it's been great fun. And Marshall's, as ever, and all the organising clubs. But yeah, Marshall's in particular for being out there and helping us do what we love to do. And we will be back at Silverstone for all of the racing action tomorrow, and we can't wait to do that. See you tomorrow about 10:30.